Hit her up.
See what happens here.
Nope, I got the notification. You're live.
Really?
Yep.
Did something right. Yeah. We are rolling. Rolling.
rolling.
Well, you know, it took me I don't know, took me a few days to figure out if your last name was Rolling or not. Mark Rolling Homestead. I said,
Actually,
no.
my name is my
You're,
last name is Rambo. So that's kind of funny, me being a service guy and having a last name of Rambo.
you say Rambo?
Just like the movie. You got it.
Oh, well, that works. Good evening, folks. We are coming to you live from beautiful downtown Burbank. And we just wanted to be sure that everything's working okay for us, and it seems to be.
And from northern Wisconsin. Rolling hills of Wisconsin. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, we've been on here for almost 2 minutes, and I don't see anybody yet.
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
I'm not.
No, I'm just kidding. Hey, by the way, if it seems like I'm talking over you, there's probably a 500 millisecond delay between you and me.
And there's probably I want to say a minute and a half delay from our talking to you on YouTube right now as I'm looking at it.
Yep.
Well, there's 3 watching. Got some. There's Alex. Hey, Alexander.
Hi, Alexander. We're glad to see you this evening.
We'll throw up some.
You are the first on the list.
First on the list. Yeah, but like I was telling you, it's been a crazy week. I didn't even pick up my camera until I took vacation yesterday, and that was the first time I picked up my camera all week.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I tried to just take the camera and just grab footage. Well, you can kind of tell that's what I did on that video that I put up. But I just tried to grab some footage, and I figured maybe I could throw something together out of it. We're going to talk about, we're going to try to discuss GMO, hybrid, and heirloom seeds because, believe it or not, it seems like there's some people out there that don't know for sure what's what. And we have also found that possibly the chemtrails are slowing down, which is a good thing. And we can talk about anything that anybody wants to talk about. So,
yeah, we haven't actually seen anything around here. I want to say since the beginning of summer, like it was heavy this winter for chemtrails, but now it has calmed down drastically. The other thing I want to touch base on too is some people were saying something about trees are dying and the leaves are dying back from the chemtrails and the heavy spray this year. So
I've heard that too. Sure have. Well, there's no question that there's been more chemtrails around the larger cities than there has in places like where I live. But and they're rare. They were even rare when they were heavy in some of the larger cities here. So I don't know, but I'm hearing that it, excuse me, that things are getting better, and I hope that's true. Thought maybe we
So how
could go ahead.
I was just gonna say, how was Alex this week? What was he up to?
And Alex, is there anything that you would like to talk about this evening? We're open to suggestions. We sure had a good time last week.
Yeah, that was a good time.
The room was full from the time we started till the time we left, and I had a good time.
Pretty sure the chicken had made it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking myself.
I won't drink.
Well, give him the
Just stand there.
keep forcing it down his mouth.
Well, I don't know if he's aspirating that or not.
Yeah, we can talk about haters and people bashing on YouTube. Sure, we can. I have not been in a position to actually see too much hating. I don't know. Maybe I've been working in the garden too much, but I know it's out there.
And I think we touched base on this last week with cyberbullying and that kind of stuff. This falls into that same category.
This is true. I pretty much don't pay attention to them, or if I can just block them and yeah, I just don't let them get under my skin, I should say. And I know it's difficult sometimes because I've got a short temper, believe it or not. And a lot of times I will actually write a letter. And boy, I'm really giving somebody the what for, But I leave that letter on the computer until the next day, and many times I never send it.
That's a good idea.
Well, I hate to see that you had to take a video down. It's not a good thing.
It wasn't supposed to be disrespectful.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Because it just, the thing is some people don't understand other people, and I do have that problem, especially if I'm talking to someone in another country. I will, and I also have a dry sense of humor. I may say something that I think is funny. My wife tells me I'm really bad about that. I think it's funny, but it's real dry, and and other people don't appreciate it, she says. So I don't know.
What was your video about, Alex? There's one thing that I can tell you about YouTube and the videos that we make is we want to stay with our content that our channel's about. When you throw something that's off the wall, okay. Hey, there's my buddy, Tiny. How's it going? How was your week? Yeah, Alex, the problem with what I think you're talking about is, if I kind of have a feeling I know what you're talking about, and I don't think that problem is ever going to go away. I don't think that that channel is going to be a peaceful channel. So I think the best thing is just to let things go.
Sometimes
How
that's
was your week, Tiny? How was your week there, buddy? I'm doing good. I've been trying to keep up with Merle in the garden. Um, he's been beating me.
oh no.
Hey, Jerry, good to see you. Yeah, if you look in the background on my picture, I got a slideshow going of all what we've been doing all week long, and actually my main picture there of the garden and the greenhouse with the pine shavings and the trails there. It used to be all bald. Uh, so we really been pushing her, getting up at 7:30 and going till at least 12:30, and then I go to work from 2 to 10. So we've been doing that for a whole week. Yeah, Alex, I hope that helps. I think I know where you're coming from, and I just think that it's best to just stay clear of that channel.
I don't know about having a head start there, Tiny. I don't know. I tell you what we've been doing though. Me and the wife. I started to call her the old lady. Boy, that would have been terrible.
You in big trouble there, but
we have been we've been working all day, and I told Mark, I said we'd come in, we'd grab a little something to eat and sit down for about 15 or 20 minutes. Then we can't get up. That's what it's like to be old.
yeah, my plants were already getting pretty big. I was actually getting nervous because they were instant plants,
Oh yeah, no kidding.
and it was they were already getting flowers on them. They were already doing that, and they were still in pots already. I'm like, okay, so you're picking flowers off, but yeah, if you look at that picture in the back, you got all our cabbages in, all the pepper plants are in. That whole line is tomatoes. They probably got 30 to 40 tomatoes put in. Yep, Alex, that's exactly right. Is you want to stay as far as you can away from drama on a channel, because you will lose a lot of people doing that.
Yeah, Jerry, I'm not sure I understand exactly what's going on there, but I think you're saving money to get your own place there, if I'm not mistaken, and I wish you the best. Sure do.
I'll tell you what, it took me 5 years to find my place. Actively looking for 5 years to find the perfect place that fit me.
Well, I guess it was back in 85 or 6 or something like that. We found 8 acres and a house out in the country where you couldn't see another house from ours. And we raised our kids there, and I tell you what, we're only I don't know, we're just 5 or 6 miles from that old home place now. But it was the very best thing we ever did for our kids. We that was back when the school system in these small towns like where I'm at were still pretty good, So, hey Mark, how do you get wood chips up there? You buy a wood chipper, right?
Yeah, I actually, if you look in the picture there, Tiny, all that main trail going up to the greenhouse, it's all chip. Um, it it's nice to have your own. It helps to clean up stuff around the house, but I'll tell you, I don't know if the labor versus what you get, if it's worth it or not, because it's a lot of work.
We've got two big brush piles here that as soon as we kind of get caught up with things that got to get done, then we want to get
Hey, well, thanks for stopping by, Alex. I hope everything works out, and hope to see you again.
Yeah, no need to run off. There you go, Jerry. Yeah, you got a plan.
Yep. You finally bought the chipper there, Tiny, or? Yeah, it's. I'll tell you, it takes a lot of work. That's what I'm finding out is the time spent chipping wood versus what you get. Bottom dollar, you're losing. It's actually cheaper to go to a big box store and buy 2 cubic feet of wood chips, just your organic wood chips, for $2.75 than what you got put into that chipper and the time, if you want to go that route.
But on the other hand, if you're like me and you don't really have anything else to do, hey, why not?
Or the other side of that theory is I can say it came off of my land and it's staying on my land. It's all organic.
Yeah, and the thing is I got these two big, ugly-looking piles of brush that really need to be something done with them.
Yep, a 3-inch works like a charm, but I have a huge area I want to chip. Yeah, and I looked at around here. You can buy or you can rent a chipper, but it's a couple $100 for a day. And I was just like, well, wow, I could buy a chipper for 2 times I would need to rent one. I could buy one for the cost of renting one, and then I have it whenever I need it. Because not also can you put the wood through there, but you can also mulch up your garden waste. Yeah, it does, Tiny. It helps clean up some of the eyesores. You got that right. And like with me, I think I'm going to be putting all my corn stalks through there, so that'll help out a lot.
Yeah, those brush piles are ugly. I've kind of got mine hidden, but still they need to go. Yeah. I borrowed a 3-inch chipper one time, and you are exactly right. It takes forever. I don't know. I think the best thing you can do is follow these guys, the tree trimmers around, the ones that works and does the work for the utility companies. Follow them around, and they will bring you some wood chips, or so I'm told.
Yeah, if you're looking for one that you can just keep right on throwing in there and don't have a problem, you need up to a 12-inch or a 14-inch in diameter that'll actually constant feed.
Jerry, you're right about the city life. I couldn't stand it. I just couldn't take it.
How about working? You can do that too, Jerry. A lot of people around here where I'm from, they don't like the idea of borrowing stuff out,
I guess bartering would be the way to go.
Yeah.
I found a company in Green Bay that will deliver, but it's $200 for the delivery. Gee. How far away is that?
From him, that's probably an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah. That delivery charge is a stinker.
See, the thing is now is that the loggers have figured out, sawmills, they buy chip and for all kinds for pulp and everything else. So all of the tops and everything now around here, they're chipping them. If so, whatever isn't turned into a log, they're chipping the tops to get rid of them, and they're figuring out that they can sell that for a pretty good penny. You figure out a truckload of chip and $5,000 a load. That's when they can load that up real quick. They bring in the big chippers. He's about an hour from Green Bay.
So how much were they going to bring you for 200? Yeah, Jerry, and it is a craft. Yeah, it's definitely a craft, that bartering. You got to know what you're doing, for sure. I don't know. I'm thinking that we're going to need probably all this that we've got to chip and some more. So I'm keeping my eyes open for the tree trimmers. 10 cubic yards. Gee, I don't know. Seems kind of expensive to me. $17 for a pickup truck load, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I suppose
that seems pretty cheap because I got a quote for $50.
I suppose I would pay that, but I have heard that there's still people giving it away, so at least a few. $20 a yard, Jerry says. Yeah, well, some of us need it and some of us just want it.
That gets involved with the permaculture concept for gardening, and that's the basis of the back to Eden garden method. When the wood chips break down, that's your start of your back to Eden garden. But your first part of that is your permaculture, and a lot of people are going to that because of the fact of the weed control, how much better your soil is. But the funny thing is that people that have tried it, they fell off after a year because they see what happens is that if you don't do it correctly and you disturb the soil, mix the soil between the two, the wood chips will actually rob the nitrogen from your soil, and your plants will do real poorly. And people that'll start up these gardens, wood chip down and the compost down and all that other stuff, and then they mix it with their plants, they're finding out that it's robbing the nitrogen out of their soil. Their plants too bad, and they're like, well, this ain't going to work. They just drop it. They don't hang on. And with back to Eden gardening, it takes 3 to 5 years before you're actually getting to the point where things are really starting to blossom and pop off quick. But people want everything like now, and that's the problem.
Yeah, those wood chips need to be, 3 to 5 years old before you ever try to grow anything in them, right?
Yeah, they need to be into the humus stage of the breakdown, where humus is, that's where the good bacteria and everything all subsides in there. So yeah, it takes a long time to, especially depends on how big the wood chips. So if you're getting commercial wood chips that are actually coming off of like a chipper, them are going to be big chips. They're not going to be like what's coming off of my 4-inch where they're littler chips. I've heard people say, Jerry, the dust is just as much of a pain in the butt as the chips are. And
Yeah,
see, with my compost, go ahead, Merle.
oh, you'd think it would break down faster.
Yeah, Tiny, you're going to be there a while if you got 8 acres to chip. That's a lot.
Whoa. 8 acres and a 3-inch chipper. That's not a very good combination. I don't think.
No. If I had that much, I think I would be going for a big industrial one. Um, but like with mine, my compost is actually pine shavings and chicken manure, and it takes roughly 6 months compost piles to break that down. I just started a new one today, so that'll be ready in the fall of this year to put in my garden for the winter time.
So,
The stuff that I made from last year is what I'm starting with this year.
so what are you paying for the pine shavings?
I pay $4 for 2 cubic feet of compressed pine shavings, and that I use in a chicken coop.
Yeah, and you actually get to use it, and then you use it again. I mean, that's not
Right.
bad. That's a pretty good deal.
Nope. Yep.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably what we may do here. I was thinking about using hay and then composting it, but it won't break down as fast as the pine shavings will, I don't think.
And another thing is that the chickens are stupid and they'll start eating the hay, and then you'll get compacted crop, which means all of it gets stuck right here,
Yep.
and they can't eat, they can't drink, and you'll have a bunch of dead chickens. Hey, Dee, how's it going? Good to see you. Glad you could join us.
The eagle has landed.
The eagle is here. Yep. Yeah, I made the mistake this last fall of I put a layer of our old nasty hay down on the bottom, and then I had wood chips on top of it. And one of our birds got a hold of that. She had a compact. I pulled out a ball out of her throat like this. I tried to do the surgery for it, and it just a ball of hay like this. And she ended up dying because with her moving and stuff, I couldn't keep that closed enough, and I called all over the place to get removable stitches or dissolvable stitches, and they just did not want to let me have any. So
Yeah.
and none of the vets would do that surgery either. There wasn't anyone around here that would do that.
The wife is wanting to use straw, wheat straw, to put around the plants to keep the weeds down and stuff. But I'm trying to talk her out of it because I think it takes the wheat straw too long to break down. What's your thought on that?
Like if you look in the picture behind me, I've got that old nasty hay on these in between the rows, and all it's doing is keeping the weeds down.
Yeah.
And what my plan is this fall is I take my compost that I'm making now, and I'll lay it on top of the hay and let it sit all winter long and let it decompose some more. But I can tell you right now, the hay that I had in the chicken coop last year, there was still some green in there, so it did not want to break down. So if you want the best turnaround that I found out so far is pine shavings.
Yeah,
I think it's got the best thing for the buck.
I agree. I think it's going to break down faster, and it's going to be the cheaper than at least unless you can find something free.
Hey, there's Walter. Good evening. See you later, Jerry. Sorry you couldn't keep around longer.
Good to see you, Walter Davis. Yes. And the eagle has flown the coop. Come back and see us. Well,
So yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say with the pine shavings, you get the dust, you get the shavings, you get all that, and if you go to like a sawmill, you can get the mixture pretty cheap. I was told, $50 a truckload between the two of them, and you can get pretty much what any kind of chip you want. I mean, if you want hardwood or if you want softwood, the best, according to Berkeley, the best is to get a mixture between soft and hardwood, because then the softwood will start to break down, and then the hardwood will still hold it a little bit better. So, it says D says I'm here. He was actually talking to Jerry.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. That sounds pretty good. I can think of 3 sawmills that are within 10 miles. And the only problem is they don't want to give anything away. So I'm sure that they would sell it. I mean, they're going to have some shavings regardless. Uh-oh. Walter says that pine shavings decomposing will cause your soil to become very acidic and draw the nitrogen out.
I just talked about that. Yes, it will if you mix it, and if you put fresh on there, you will do that exactly. You need to have the decomposing process started, and you need to be into this stage of things.
Yeah, you need to have already used it in your chicken coop and then have let it sit for a while and decompose.
Yeah. Well, you're absolutely right, and that's why I was just talking about that subject with permaculture. Is people want to, they get in that idea that the back-eaten garden method is used with wood chips and compost, but when you watch, and I keep forgetting his name, but if you watch how he does it, it's all decomposed, it's all broken down, and it's in a humus stage, which means it's in a decomposing method already. You're exactly right.
Talking about the guy with the food forest?
Yep.
In his backyard? Yeah, he's pretty sharp.
Yep. So it has to be broken down. There's actually some guys in England that took the 2 different tests, and I actually did a soil sample test on my compost pile that was chicken manure and pine shavings, and that's it. And I was at 7% on the fertility, and my pH, it was at 4% for my fertility, and my pH was at 7%, and my moisture level was at 100%, because one thing that this stuff starts to do is it holds in moisture. So if we have a drought, it's going to be less watering because it's going to hold the moisture in for you. And if you look in the back, the dark matter that's around my plants is that humus, and that's pine shavings and chicken manure broken down.
Yeah, I'm really anxious to get my chickens. I just don't. I mean, right now this garden is just absolutely killing me. Just trying to get all these raised beds in is just a. I mean, it's almost more than you can stand.
Yeah, but you gotta. Well, the thing of it is too, Merle, is you gotta look at it this way: is you're just about going to be done here, and if you would get chickens, they got to go in a broader house for a month.
Yep.
If you could.
It's not like we're in all that big a hurry, but I just like I like to get things done.
Yeah, me too. And I'll say it again: is my chickens are my workhorse in my garden.
Oh yeah.
They do all the work.
Yeah, the chickens are about the only thing that I can think of that actually pay their own way in a homesteading atmosphere,
Merle, Tiny's asking what kind of chickens you're going to get.
Well, I think I'm going to go with Red Rangers for the meat birds, and What is it? Those black ones for layers.
Jersey Giant.
Barred Rock or something like that.
Oh yeah, the black and white, the speckled
Yeah,
ones.
yeah. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
Barred Rock.
Yeah, I'm not sure about those yet, but probably the Red Rangers for the meat birds.
So DE, you said is pine the best? Are you talking about for the chickens or for the compost pile, or what are you talking about?
We were thinking, or Mark was, that the pine is better because you get to use it in your chicken coop, and then it breaks down faster than say wood chips would be. So you get to use it faster in your garden.
See, I tried out last year. All black Australia ops. Barred rocks are good, yeah. Walter, they're really good. See, last year I tried because I was trying to keep out mites and I was trying to keep out rodents out of my coops. I chipped up some cedar and put it around the outside of my coop and up around the building for more of a decorative kind of thing. Oh, he's talking about compost.
Yeah.
And they're still there. They're still solid. They're still all the way around. So they do not break down at all. And you got to remember that cedar has a natural preservative built right into it. Pine is probably, like I was saying, if you go and check out Berkeley University did a compost where they made a hot compost. In 2 weeks, they had compost. And all they were using was organic material with sticks, staggering between the two with your right ratios of organic versus your dry material. What I found out to work best for me is, especially in my chicken coop, is my shavings mixed with the chicken. And in the summertime, I will actually rake up my grass clippings in the back. If you look right behind me, behind the apple trees, it gets pretty thick back there. I will rake that up, and then I mix the two together because your grass is going to start up your compost pile really quick and get the process going.
Yeah, I was going to say that the grass will heat up the compost and make it work a little quicker. So I'm told.
Yep, it does.
I, I'm like Old Camp Ranch. I am definitely not an expert in anything.
I'm not an expert, but I did a lot of research, especially in my area, and my idea is what can I use that comes off my land and my land only. Well, I bought the wood chipper so that I can make the pine chips for my birds and for the compost and stuff, but it was too big, too rough. So then I decided that okay, I'm not going to go that route, and I started buying it from the big box store, and it's been working ever since. And Walter says my coop has a 1x1 wire floor raised up about 2 feet off the ground. All the waste drops through, and then we rake it up once a week.
I like that idea. The only problem that I can see is a 1x1 floor could cause the chickens some discomfort and maybe a broken toe once in a while. I don't know. If it works.
I see a lot of people with chicken tractors that do that. That way they can move it, and they have the 1x floor. It doesn't allow pests, and especially if you're in an area with snakes and stuff like that. But for me, mine's right on dirt floor. I just cleaned it out today, and it works really well. It keeps everything insulated, and it allows little worms and bugs and stuff to come up through the top of the floor, which actually helps teach your chickens to scratch, and they eat that and they eat the worms, which is good for them. It was just
I'm probably going to use a chicken tractor because I want them to be able to not necessarily. I mean, you can't call that free range, but it's good for them to be able to get to the ground and pick up the bugs and this, that, and the other. So for 10 weeks, yeah, I can stand to move a chicken tractor around. Sure.
Yeah, my hens are in the permanent location, and they have probably a quarter acre to roam around in, and more than enough room for 20 birds to do what they want to. Plus, they got 2 compost piles that they go and dig around in. And then my meat birds, I got that sectioned off, and they're also pastured too. So,
Yeah, I think that's the ideal way to do it. I would want my laying chickens to be able to have room to roam. Yeah. And although we're not going to have a lot of room to roam, they're going to have some.
I had mine totally free for a while, and then when I put up the new deck and everything else, I got sick of landmines all over the place, and that's when I decided enough is enough. It was nice to have them around and free to do whatever they want, but man, dodging landmines all the time, especially if you got a big dog and then you got to worry about 20 chickens, it's something else.
Yeah. I should have said coop was for sleeping and laying eggs, and they were out all day. Yeah, I think that's the good way to do it. Yeah. That's what we used to do anyway. Back in the old days, we just let the chickens run loose, and yeah, every once in a while we'd come up missing one, but just figured that was the cost of doing business.
Well, I just happened to find out this week here we have a new resident next door, and she's got kits, and so I came across. Looks like there's 5 foxes over there down by the irrigation pipes. So, long as they stay on that side and not come towards me, I'll be happy. Otherwise, I'll be taking out some fox quick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just what happens when you have neighbors. That's all. You just didn't buy enough property. You should have bought a couple thousand acres, and then you'd have been okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they still would have moved in. Yeah, Tiny, that's forest would be really good because that's be good for bugs and worms and everything else. I think they'd enjoy that.
That's what I'm going to do too. By golly, I think being in the woods is a good place for them, especially close to the house where they can eat the bugs, the ticks, and clean up all that kind of stuff.
Step away for a bit. Girl, right back.
Go right ahead. Yeah, I don't know. I was telling Mark earlier, the wife and I, cost of doing business, yeah. I don't know, you could say we were homesteaders 35 years ago. We moved from a large city to 8 acres out in the country where you couldn't see another house from ours. And man, oh man, it was good. It was the best thing we ever did for our kids. Sandy Kay, it's good to see you today. Mark stepped away for a minute, but he'll be right back. And anyway, there's nothing like the country. No way. Nothing like the country. Funny story there, though, is that after our kids got raised and everything, we thought, we're on this gravel road, and sometimes it snows so bad we're stuck in there for a week or 10 days, and this, that, and the other. We got to talking one day and thought, well, maybe we ought to just move into town because we're getting a little older and this, that, and the other. And, buddy, let me tell you, we moved into a housing addition, and it took us about 6 months to decide that we had to get out of there, and I mean in a hurry. We sold that place and found a little spot with about an acre on the edge of town, just out enough to where it's still country. So, we felt like we were in a fishbowl. Sandy, we're doing good.
Hey, Sandy, how's it going? Two-seater farms, all right.
And Two Seater Farms, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. And how's them pigs doing? Good, I hope. No, I wouldn't either, Sandy. I couldn't. The fact of the matter is I could not live in the city. I just couldn't. I'd go crazy. Or I'd start
Yeah, that's an understatement.
or I'd start drinking again, and that couldn't be good. Two-seaters, we are so happy that you came by this weekend. You would have enjoyed last week's show too, I bet.
Do I have him as a sub?
Oh, I
I
do.
shouldn't say sub.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bad word. I heard that was a bad
That's
word
a bad
on
word.
YouTube.
Yes,
Yeah,
I do. I am subscribed. I am friended. I am friended.
So how does two-seaters do their... I'm trying to think if I can remember how you do your compost. I think I've watched too many people. I get them all confused. Pigs are eating us out of house and home. Yeah, that's good. But golly, how many did she have? Wasn't it like 13? I believe it was. Something like that. That's a pretty good litter. But you're going to give her a break now, right? She's done already did her job. I suppose it wouldn't hurt if you got Wisconsin on there. I probably ought to put Indiana on here so people know where I'm from. For anybody that cares, I am about 50 miles west of Indianapolis, out in the sticks.
Say, all right. Okay. Sandy K. I need to know how to make the sauerkraut, please. I had to dump 4 jars they molded. My question to you, Sam, did they mold all the way down to the bottom? Because usually on the top of the jars you'll have an inch or two of mold, and you have to scrape that off, and what's left on the bottom is good.
I wouldn't have known that either. I told the wife we were going to have to make some of that. I hear it's good for you.
Really good for you. But yeah, most people don't realize is that what I do in my method is this last time I actually used a little bit of olive oil to seal them up. But you have to do is you have to pack them down so that the juices are above the sauerkraut, and then you have to remember to keep looking at them so that they're not getting below that. But also then what I did this last time I learned is if you put a little bit of olive oil on the top, it'll seal it well enough let the air to come out of the sauerkraut, but it won't let any of the bacteria and germs in. Just top, but hubby dumped. Yeah, you probably had really good sauerkraut there, Sandy, and you just dumped up because you're just supposed to scrape the top of the sauerkraut. Will show a little bit of mold, and that's what the fermentation, that's a good bacteria, does. So yeah, you probably had some there, and it was. That's how we learn.
Two-seaters. After I can't believe it. After she's been so good to you and she's give you all them pigs, and you're not just gonna let her retire. You're gonna actually take her to the meat house. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to think about that. Well, I guess that's one of those things about it's just the cost of doing business, right?
It's farming.
That's her cost of doing business. Yeah, it's farming, all right. But you know what? I shouldn't tell this about myself, though. I thought about getting some rabbits, but I was just afraid that I would get too attached to them. You know, I normally don't have those kind of problems, but I thought rabbits. Oh man, I don't know. We'll have to give that some more thought. Mrs. D does the compost. She's the gardener. I just do the animals. Yeah, I know. I've heard you say that.
Yes, Andy, that's you live and learn. It's easy to make. It's pretty cheap. It's just time consuming because you got 2-3 months time period stuck into them.
That's why you start one and then wait a couple weeks and start another one, right? Something like that.
Yeah, I usually have two. I usually have coin, and then I'll have 1 or 2 big jars in the fridge back and forth. But this year I'll be doing an in-depth thing on making sauerkraut, obviously, because I've got a ton of sauerkraut we're going to be putting up this year. So I'm going to do videos on actually how to make sauerkraut the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, we've got, I don't know, 2 or 3 of those big crocks. Is that what you're going to use?
No, actually, I'm going to be using food-grade 5-gallon pails, but I wish I had some crocks.
Yeah. Well, run over here and pick these up, and you're welcome to use them.
I looked online, a guy said he had one, and he said it has a slight crack in it, and I heard that's not a good thing. So.
I don't know. It seems to me like all the sauerkraut that I ever ate was when I was a kid, and I hated it. I absolutely despised it. But I'm guessing that it was probably something that somebody bought in a grocery store, and it wasn't, like done at home like it was supposed to be done. The wife says she really likes it, so we may make some.
It's so simple to make. And it's so healthy for you no matter what you do. If you're gonna, like I can some, I put up 54 quarts. So it's such a good thing to do, and it's a good way of using your sauerkraut, and not only the good probiotics if you make fermented cabbage alone too. So there's benefits all the way around.
You know what? Two-seaters, I kind of have that problem too, a little bit.
I got that same problem big bit. That's why I like live streaming better.
He's got... Sorry I type slow. My typing finger has a bad southern slang. Yeah. It makes me drop all the G's. I can't put any G's in there, I just... Mellamoon Hayes, good evening. How are you?
What time you show up?
We've been in here with, oh my gosh, we've been in here without a moderator. I don't know how we've made it. With all these rascals that's in here now. I'm surprised we didn't have to throw about half of them out. No, you're not slow. You're just late.
She's busy taking care of chickens and making coffee.
Hey, Mark, don't that smoke bother you?
Yeah, it does. Burning my eyes.
You know, I was telling.
Yeah, that was my.
Go ahead.
So that was my camp for summer and a half. It was really enjoyable. I was actually all every week, even the family they look there after everything was done. It's hard. Don't have much built up, but after you get built up, it's really enjoyable to go out there and just sit back and relax.
Is that what you did when you got back from the sandstorm?
No, I did this when I was probably going on 2 years ago. We were in town. We were living in a 3-bedroom apartment, and I was getting cabin fever. It didn't matter if it was in the summer or winter. And I met a pastor, and we went up to there, and he said he had some woods up there, and I was looking at making a retreat for a place for people to get closer to God and just to relax and to settle in and stuff like that, and kind of people how to get closer to nature and to see how God has created stuff instead of, everybody's so busy trying to slow things down. So I started with the first lean-to, and then in order to get the family out, I had to build another one, but they didn't want to be in the wide open because of the fact that the critters and stuff like that were getting too close.
Yeah,
so
well, I sure can't blame you for wanting to get away from that apartment for sure. We were talking a while ago. I don't know if you were here or not, but I just couldn't stand living in the city. I just couldn't take it.
It's so peaceful, and the fact is that when we got this place, I'm out in the country, so I can walk out in the backyard and get the same environment that I had there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really pretty out here. So I decided, and with the work and stuff that was going on here, we just kind of did our little thing here. Coffee grounds.
Yeah, my wife does that too.
Yeah, so do we. Everything from the smashed up chicken eggs, banana peels, coffee grounds, coffee filters, anything that can go in the compost.
Well, I guess that if you can go to find you a Starbucks or something like that around and go pick up all their coffee grounds, that's a pretty good idea. But I think there's too many people's beat us already to that. Downtown Chicago for a few years. Oh boy, yeah. Wouldn't take long for that to get old, I bet.
No way. That's right now. All we hear is the tractors running up and down the road because everybody's planting and trying to get the crops in. But for the most part, it's pretty quiet down here. And you walk out the back of my shop there, and it's all field apple trees and wide open, and just beautiful to see the stars and just to sit back and relax and have a fire. And that's peaceful there. That's kind of, I miss my bushcraft camp, but at the same time, I got my homestead, which is the equivalent to what I had out there. So it's kind of a horse apiece. I guess when I get sick of doing this, then I'll go back to the camp.
Yeah. Well, two-seaters will appreciate this short story here. When I was a kid, we lived on a farm, and of course we didn't have any air conditioning or anything like that, so we had a screen door at the front and a screen door in the back, and we never, ever locked anything. Anyone could have walked up and walked right in while we were asleep. But you know, those days are gone. I don't think I would want to try that anymore. But we never locked the door. Yeah, downtown Chicago is a fun place to visit. But I would interrupt there and say, but it's not a good place to live.
Yeah, she's talking back in the 70s and stuff like that, though. There's a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's, we were talking about that the other night where, when we were kids growing up in the 70s and 80s, your parents would have to come and find you. And if you're in town, you're probably, 3-4 miles away. And there was, come on, you got to come home. You wouldn't do that now. The days have changed when you can go to freewheeling wherever you want to.
Yeah, I heard somebody say the other day how it used to be, and I can remember it too. When a street light comes on, you come home. That was the way it used to be back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah, Walter Davis says he never had a key when he lived on a farm. That's right. There was no need for a key.
Neither do I. I still don't have a key. I do, but I never bring it along.
Yeah. Heck, I don't really need a key. I've got to the point where I stay at home most of the time. I absolutely despise to have to go anywhere. Now people will kill you for their next fix. Yeah, they sure will.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny. Yeah, I always yell at her because I'll come home and she'll have the door locked. I'm like, "Why are you locking the door?" Because then I can't get in.
Yeah, it's funny.
My truck has a key fob. I don't even have a key. I have a push button starter on my truck. So I just carry the key fob in my pocket, and I don't have to carry keys. So it's just, I come home and she'll be gone or something, and she'll lock the door, and I'll be sitting in the driveway waiting for her to get back. Because I'm the kind of person, too, I don't have a cell phone, so I can't call and say, "Hey, where are you at?"
Me too, Merle. I'm barn sour. Now that's a new one. I had not heard that saying before.
That means you want to stay home.
Yeah.
You don't like leaving the house.
I really don't. I don't like to go anywhere. My wife goes to the grocery with our daughter, and so I've got out of that job. And while they're out, I'll tell them, "Oh, by the way, pick up this and pick up that."
Hey, let it snow.
Let it snow. Gosh, I hope not.
All right. No, he's saying that he made it in here, and we've only been on for 100 minutes.
Well, you're early. That's great.
Yeah, the problem is the society nowadays ain't like it used to be. So I remember going with my grandpa, and we would go down to the local diner, or we go down to the barber shop and stuff like that. And that's kind of where I learned my gardening skills, is because watching him. And then Grandma wouldn't want to make dinner or something like that. She said, "Well, let's go out for dinner," and we'd go down to the local diner, and there would be a bunch of old people in there talking and stuff. And you don't see that anymore. You don't see that community togetherness and stuff like that. It's all, standoffish. No one wants to help each other, and it's a sad thing.
They used to say, if you want to go someplace to eat and you want good food, go where the old people go.
Pretty much. Walter says a friend had an old skeleton key locks on his house. Figures why change that? Somebody wants to break a window. They want to.
You know, I agree with that. If you're not home, somebody wants to get in, they're going to get in. But if you are at home, at least make them make some noise, so you know they're coming in.
Funny thing is they want to come in here, and they got a 110-pound American pit bull waiting for them. So I just sit back and relax.
I've got one of those 308 things that shoots like yours does. Dry canning in jars, bad? Well, I'll tell you what, I did. Some of the stuff that I dried, I vacuum sealed in those jars, and they, believe it or not, it works for a pretty good long time. I say a year and a half on the potatoes.
I learned a long time ago. I was watching a YouTube video. I was gonna micro mylar bags with a vacuum seal versus dry canning. There are people that are out there saying that dry canning can hold up to 10 years with your beans and your rice and everything like that. And with the mylar bags, if you're vacuum sealing them with the oxygen absorbers in there, they're good for 25 years.
Yeah, when I did mine, I was under the impression that they would last from 25 to 35 years if you did everything right. And and I think we did. So, a lot of people don't do that. It seems, I don't know, let me put it this way. It seems like maybe 10 years ago, maybe even a little longer, there was a thing where people were concerned enough to do that, put things away like in the Mylar bags and 5-gallon buckets. But I don't see as many people talking about doing that lately as there was then. So.
You gotta remember too the old, look at when the preppers came out and about prepping and food storage and all that came out. The last big, right before the stock market took a dump. It makes a full circle, and I think a lot of people have, that hype has came across. If you look back, it happened twice, and they started pushing long-term food storage and stuff like that. As far as the goes, we do that on a daily basis. If it's putting food away and canning stuff, or your vegetables, your corn, your meats, all that stuff is put away for a long-term storage. So we're doing that. The best thing that I can tell you, and what I learned from my grandparents and everything else, is that you want at least a minimum of 2 years on the shelf so that you're rotating every year.
Exactly.
Sound about right, Merle? Exactly. Yeah, okay.
That's where I'm at. I don't know, up until about 5 years ago or so, I thought a year was good enough, from year to year. But I kind of think you should have whatever you can raise and store and can and freeze and all that. Raise all you can and put it up, because you've always got people that are going to want to come and borrow it, your family. You got to give some away. So you got to raise some for them. But the long-term storage, that's a whole different program for me. I want to.
The thing with
go ahead.
The long-term storage. There's a couple different companies out there that are, you got Wise Foods.
Yep.
Austin Farms. There's a bunch of different ones out there, and they have these kits, and a lot of that stuff in there, if you look at it, it's just noodles, rice, and either chicken broth, beef broth, and frozen vegetables or dehydrated vegetables. So let's just take that same subject. Now we take and we can you can put in mylar some noodles and put them and store them away. You can dry seal rice and put them away. You can do that with salt. There's seasonings now that you can do that with, so you can put your beef seasoning and everything in that category. You can make and take mixed vegetables if you have an oven, you can dehydrate. Open the door up, put it on the lowest temperature, lay your mixed vegetables out in the oven on a cookie sheet, stick it in there, rotate them, dry them out, and a bag. Put them in a mason jar. You can do the same thing as dried, doing them that way. And you can make the same meal. I tried it and I did it. I made beef stroganoff. I took one from wine and we made a bunch of it and I took it out and actually mine was better because the more flavor. It had the seasonings that I wanted in there. You just got to stay away from it. It has beef fat in it, and you don't want that in your dehydrated foods. Otherwise, you can do it yourself, and it's a lot cheaper by far. So that's what we started doing, and someday on the live stream, I think I'll do a video on some of my stuff that I have. But if you can get up and get going with a dehydrator, it's such a good thing to have. It's one of the best things that we ever purchased.
Thank you, Two Seaters. We appreciate the compliment and hope you can come back.
So Melamoon, I think that the surge of prepping like in 2012 and 2015, I could be wrong. How can you be sure their food is good? Be good in 20 years. What if we get to go to eat it in 15 years and it gone bad?
Well, you never know, actually. But there are certain things that you can buy that, if stored properly, that they would be good. So I don't know. You kind of got to figure it out for yourself, I guess.
Yeah, and I think the question: do we save the recipes? No, our receipts.
Yeah.
Most of your long-term storage foods, they're vacuum sealed in the containers, and they have like 2 or 3 absorbers in there. The ones that are good for 25 years, they're in sealed cans. Most of your military food, they're good for 20, 30 years. I remember back when I was probably 16 or 17, my grandpa pulled out a sea ration because I was talking about MRE. Had one of them in the basement. I said, hey, well, this is our MRE back in the day, and it had a can of pork and beans in there. It had a pack of Lucky Strikes, some matches, and that pound cake, which was actually your leg pound cake, and they had the freeze-dried the fruit things, and it was just hilarious.
Yeah, that was right. Pack of Lucky Strikes. Can you imagine that?
And you're absolutely right. Let us know. The bottom line is that we have to put our faith in God to take care of us, and we're not supposed to put our faith in man. We're supposed to put our faith in our Creator.
That's right. But I always have to say to that, He gave us a brain, and He meant for us to use it, and He meant for us not to be lazy.
There's actually a story about the ant and the cat, or no, the cricket or grasshopper, something like that. And ant puts store stuff away, and the grasshopper's lazy and doesn't put anything away. So they weren't that bad.
That's why they gave you the Lucky Strikes.
Well, see, that's kind of funny because the first set of MREs came out with Marlboros in them, and then the government figured out that it was a bad idea to promote smoking, so they pulled the cigarettes out of there, and no more. And there's a big controversy over that because so then they just started selling them at the PX.
If I'm not mistaken, they replaced that. They replaced the cigarettes with chocolate candy.
Yep, they did. Actually, there's M&Ms. If you're lucky to get the M&Ms, or you got all kinds of other stuff in there. But and then of course they had the grasshopper. There it was.
The ant and the
And then you
grasshopper.
had the other funny thing was the gum is because MREs clog you up, and so they the gum that they put in there's a laxative to counteract
Yeah, yeah.
MRE.
Oh well. I have a ton of beans and rice in my freezer. Yeah, we used to, but we started eating beans and rice almost every day. Fact of the matter
We did
is,
too.
we actually do eat beans almost every day of some kind. I think it's good for you. To acknowledge that man is faulty gives more allowance to overlook the small things and love people regardless. Roger that.
Wise man once said, actually, we have a ton of beans and mylar. Simple things to make: beans and rice. You have your protein. But the thing that we looked at too is, like you said, God gave us a brain, and one of the things that we've learned for our area is the wild edibles and the plants to put on our homestead to allow for us for protein, for calcium, for all of that, minerals and stuff that we need. So if something would happen in the summer, I think we'd be pretty well set unless they drop like chemtrails and kill everything off or something like that. But the biggest thing, and I think the most educational thing that any homesteader can do is learn your wild edibles in your area. If it's medicinal or edible, they're going to help you out tremendously.
And that is one thing that I'm not good at, and I need to work on it for sure. I would say that most of us are not really that good at it. My wife, believe it or not, is much better at it than I am. She'll look at a plant that looks like a weed to me, and she'll say, "Well, that's such and such," and we used to eat that when I was a kid, So at least I've got somebody that knows a little something.
You should have saw the looks that I got when I was eating wild nettle, stinging nettle.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine.
But the thing of it is the protein in plant matter compared to protein in meat. Our body needs to chew that up, decompose it, and get it into the form that we can actually use it. Plant material, plant-based is instant. That's what's cool about stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why that Skull and that Copenhagen gives you such a quick little bitty burst of energy because it's instant. It's plant-based.
Yep. Too bad they had to go and put all that insulation in there to chew up your lip.
Man, I hate that. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I think I told you that's the hardest thing I ever quit. That was the hardest thing to quit that I ever did. I loved it.
Yep. Yeah, lettuce nettle is the absolute favorite green. Let us know. It is, and I just found out recently, I think it was about 2 years ago, that if you pick it, if it's above the knee, it actually has formed like little glass fibers in there that can actually cut up your intestines. So you're not supposed to eat it after it gets past the knee. But let me tell you, it is the best tasting stuff I've ever had. I love nettle. I could sit there all day long and just chow away. It's that good. If it's, and what's funny is you can make a salad out of wood nettle, sour or wood sole. There's so many different plants in the woods that you can do that stuff with. It's amazing. And the funny thing is, Merle, is it fills you up.
I need to get one of those books like you got that's got all those pictures of the plants in it.
Which one?
Yeah, at least one.
Here, if you're gonna get 2 books, get these 2 right here. There.
Yeah.
Oop. Here, maybe I get like this.
If I don't write it down, it didn't happen.
Okay, well, write this down. Peterson's Field Guide. Wild edible plants. And then Peterson's Field Guide for medicinal plants and herbs. You can get them on Amazon.
Yeah, it could not hurt to have those, for sure.
And then if I was the next book that I would get, if I was going to, besides the other 12 that I have, would be this one. And this is Nutrition Almanac, the 5th edition. I'm really liking what I'm finding in this book. And if you have a disease or if you have an illness, this will tell you which vegetables you should be eating and how to improve.
Yeah, so, I actually believe in that. I believe that there is something, some kind of food that you can eat for almost any ailment that you have.
Yeah, the thing I'll read you the back of the book, offering reliable information on the latest scientific discoveries of numerous handy charts and tables. This brand new edition of the Nutrition Almanac makes it so easy for you to find the facts you need for good health. If you're Best Buy for healthy living, hundreds of ways to improve your health, learn what vitamins and minerals can do for your body and mind, discover a rich source of vitamin and minerals in food at your supermarket. Well, scratch that out, don't buy it from the supermarket. Fight disease, boost immunity, and slow the effects of aging with scientific information about nutrient benefits. Optimize your nutritional status and tools in this book. So yeah, there's a lot of blah blah to hype, but I'll say I like it. It's a good book.
Yeah, I do. I actually believe in that. I believe there's something out there without taking chemicals from a prescription.
Thanks, let us know, yeah. Hey, Gwenny.
Hi, Jenny.
Or Jenny? Gwenny.
Is
Sorry.
Rick... Is Rick behaving himself? I hope so.
Hey, you don't have your troll in here.
Oh, my gosh. I don't.
He had such a fun time last time, he just couldn't make it.
Well, it could be that he had something to do, or it could be that those guys in white coats came and picked him up again.
Yeah, let us know. Food is medicine in my house, exactly. That's kind of what my channel is wrapped around, is the benefits of what you grow and the benefits to your health. So that's how I look at things here.
Well, we are trying every possible way we can to get away from all the GMOs. And
yeah, we were going to talk about that.
And we realized to just... yesterday I guess it was, that we could actually get non-GMO sugar here in the grocery stores. Walmart had it, and so did Aldi's. So, and Aldi's even had it for like 4 pounds for 99 cents. Non-GMO cane sugar. So, that's,
we were going to talk about that, so we should start that, about the difference between hybrid, heirloom, and GMO.
That's a good thing. Well, start it off.
So the first thing that we should talk about is heirloom. Heirloom is a natural seed from the mother plant. It's pure state. That is something that you can continuously plant year after year. A hybrid is taking 2 adult female plants and putting them together to create a better plant. Now, a hybrid is done in a traditional method, meaning out in the field, and that allows you to get so if you're looking at, let's say for my instance, the Wisconsin tomato was designed. It's a hybrid. It was designed to get away from the rot and everything else like that. But it's like an Amish, and it's also like a Roma. So that's what they took, and they made this Wisconsin tomato out of that. It's a hybrid. If I wanted to get another one, if I take the seeds from that, I might get the Amish or I might get the Roma in between there. Not 100% to which one it is, but it's still not GMO. A GMO
Right.
is exactly what it says. It's done in a lab. It's with new technology, scientifically altered. Okay? It's not growing out in the field. It's not natural.
And
Mr. Dixon.
the GMO is primarily, at least around my area, corn and soybeans. They're also beets. They're GMO beets and many, many other things. But the general purpose of it is so they can pour Roundup on it and it won't kill it, but it'll kill all the weeds around it. And I just can't make myself eat something that has had Roundup poured on it. I just can't do that. Now, the thing with the hybrids, I didn't think that you could save the seeds from a hybrid and grow anything. Now, I may have been wrong about that. But the heirloom seeds... Go ahead.
You can on some things, and you're just not going to get the same effect. You're not going to get the same tomato that you just planted. So let's just take, for example, A and B. The hybrid, we've got A and B, we cross-pollinate them together equals C. We see in the ground, we have a good harvest. We save the seeds from that. Problem now that we don't know if we're going to get A, if we're going to get B, or if we're going to get C. But you can reuse them. I've actually taken seeds from a store and grown them of different things.
Aha.
So but it's not a really, heirloom is going to be your best bet. You have the pure strain. And remember, the other thing is 3 is the magic number. The third year, the third picking, it's all when it's going to be at its best.
Absolutely. And that your heirloom seeds, when you're thinking about prepping, is also something that you should save. You should have backup heirloom seeds for in case something bad happens.
And the funny part is we put some muskmelon a friend gave us. It was the best tasting muskmelon, cantaloupe, however you want to say it, that we've ever had. It was sweet, it was delicious, and we got some and we saved them in an envelope. Believe it or not, 3.5 years later, I showed in a video here, somebody came and decided to throw them in some dirt, and they just popped right up like they were brand new. And
Yeah.
it was unbelievable. I didn't think of it. I was actually told her, I said, them ain't gonna grow. You can go ahead and try. I thought they were too old to actually do anything. But if they're dried out correctly, if they're saved properly and put in a dry place, it worked wonders.
Let It Snow says, try dehydrating the sweetest fruit you have, grind it up, and then use it as your sweetener. That's a good idea. It really is. However, there is something that you should know about most of the fruit, be the apples and mostly things that you would buy at a grocery store. They are hybrid, and they have been messed with so much that they have probably 50 times more sugar in those fruits than they did 50 years ago. Which is something to think about when you're sitting there filling your face full of all that sugar. But I'm like you, though. I think that kind of sugar is probably not as bad, although many people will tell you that fruit sugar is harder on your body than anything else you can take, unless it's GMO. How long can seeds be saved and still grow? I don't know for sure, but I thought it's been my experience that as long as you freeze them, they'll last for long, long time. Either freeze them or vacuum pack them, and that's what I did. I vacuum packed and just hoped for the best. Yeah, I agree with if you eat the fruit. I don't know. It's getting a bad rap right now. The fruit sugar is getting a bad rap, but I think it's probably because of the processed fruit sugar, the fructose. Produce from grocery stores also have been radiated so that seeds will not be able to be. Yeah, I've heard that too. What do you hear, Mark, about how long you can save seeds? Have you heard anything on that?
Well, the only thing that I've heard is on the seed banks that they're trying to sell seeds, and they're saying 25 years.
Yeah, well, what I did was I vacuum sealed the seeds with, or actually when I did my long-term storage stuff, and I've pretty much just vacuum sealed it and hope for the best. You know, that's about all you can do.
Mm-hmm. They found West seed in the pyramids in Egypt, and they grew. That's kind of there's a subject in itself right there, because I was reading an article that all vegetables that have now come in as we grow today started in Egypt, and they're the ones that took it and ran and kind of, I guess, brought it to our attention. Which, in my way of thinking with God and everything, it was kind of hard for me to fathom how the Egyptians started to do something, because it all had to start from the Creator. But they are supposedly the ones that took it and ran with it.
Yeah, I must have said something that didn't sound just right. Null Moon, what are West seeds? I'm not sure I follow.
Walter said that they found the West seed in the pyramids in Egypt, and they grew.
Oh, okay.
There's a comment that Walter said.
Wheat.
There we go.
It's amazing what these computers will do to the English language, isn't
it? Turn wheat into West. Yeah. Oh, no, our fingers are all tired. They've been working too hard.
Oh man, let me tell you. Whew. I'm taking tomorrow off too.
Hey RJ, how's it going? Glad to see you.
Good to see you, RG.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this is going to be, like you said. I'm hoping that from us building and everything and making the beds and the compost piles and the structures, I hope next year's a lot easier, because, boy, let me tell you, starting out fresh, it's been taking a toll on everybody.
Yeah, that's what my wife keeps telling me, this is the hard year. This is the hard year. Yeah, well, I already know it's a hard year, but she keeps telling me that next year's not going to be as bad. And, you know, I honestly believe that with the stuff that we are putting in these beds, that you can probably grow for 2 years in them and still have plenty of nutrients.
So it says, Let Us Know says seed variety is longevity, home collecting seeds have many varieties and less controlled. Corn, if I recall correctly, is particularly short. That's why we have so few seeds left because people stop growing them. Okay.
Seeds are very Oh, I think you're probably right there.
I think so because people, our society nowadays, not everybody in this room, but society in general, always like to take the easy way. They figure why work. They try to do things the easiest and quickest way instead of doing it the next way, and I think that has a lot to do with it.
What most of the people don't understand, though, Mark, is the fact that they're only 3 days away from not having anything to eat. 3 days.
Yep.
That's how long that these grocery stores keep the food that's in the grocery store. Every 3 days, they get a truck to fill it back up. And if that truck don't show up, there ain't nothing to eat.
And not only that, it's been on that truck for 2 weeks to a month. So how healthy and how fresh your food is when it gets to you.
Exactly.
Oh, there, Mellow Moon says, I hear you, Merle. Mark says, we won't have to work this hard next year. Yeah. I've heard that a dozen times.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you.
Hey, there he is. Tom, how's it going?
Tom, we were talking about you. Yeah, we were. Your ears must have been burning because Mark said, where's your friend? Mark was missing you. And I said, I don't know. I was just getting ready to get the phone, give you a call, buddy. No, we didn't start. We didn't start early. We started at the regular time, 7 Central.
RJ says, I don't think anyone has to tell you guys your growing season is going to be short. No, we all know that.
Yeah.
RJ, why? That's the thing is by a flick of a switch, something can happen, and and that's why I was talking about before. You want to have at least 2 years of food put away.
Yeah, Tommy, we're back to prepping today. We want to make sure that everybody's got 2 years worth of food. And so far, most of the people I think in the room have the same mindset. Because, I don't know if you heard it, Tommy, but the grocery stores only have enough groceries to last about 3 days in most cases. Why do I say the raised bed is more trouble? Oh, well, in my case, what I've got underneath, what I'm starting with is hard clay. So I'm basically starting with nothing. So what I do, and here's the way it goes. I make a raised bed, and then I take a potato fork and I raise the dirt up and give it some so it can breathe. And then I go through like maybe the next 2 minutes worth. And then I go through with a tiller because if I don't, I've only got short raised beds. I don't have enough room. But then we come in after I've done all that. Then we come in with newspapers or cardboard, whatever we've got the most of, and we cover it up and we make a barrier to stop the weeds. And then we come in with some high dollar potting soil, and in our case we're using manure, cow manure, and let me tell you, those things get heavy. I'm not kidding. I think I picked up one yesterday. It was over 100 pounds. 100 pounds. And then I go through, like maybe the next 2 minutes worth. And then I go through with a tiller because if I don't, I've only got short raised beds. I don't have enough room. But then we come in after I've done all that. Then we come in with newspapers or cardboard, whatever we've got the most of, and we cover it up and we make a barrier to stop the weeds. And then we come in with some high dollar potting soil, and But that's why it's so much more trouble and so much more expensive. And I know you didn't hear a thing I said.
Yeah, RJ, we got all the snow. You guys got drought, and I've been trying to say this to everybody. This spring really all the way around, because the fact is that we're all starting. You had the floods down in California. You guys are dry. That shoots the food price up, so that you're already seeing that fuel is going up. So when fuel goes up, that raises the prices even more. So the stuff sitting on the shelf, that's how you got to look at things, is the cost of them to truck it here. And the other thing is that the big depot, or the big distribution center in Phoenix, got hit with E. coli, so that got all wiped out. So we really need to look at our food this year, because I think it's going to be a rough one.
Yeah, and you want to keep an eye on the economy this year too. There is some talk, and that may be something we should talk about sometime too. There's some talk that the economy might not be in really good shape right now. So, and even some talk from higher places about replacing the dollar with something else. So how that's
Bitcoin.
So how that's going to work out, we don't know for sure. Which just tells you to be prepared. I mean, that's all it tells you. Just in case.
Well, that's we got to look at two different things. Number one is when we have God as the head, and we think like we're supposed to think, everything will fall in place. And I think more than more, you can see that, and the people that are pulling away from the worldly things and getting back to the godly things are going to be the ones that are going to be sitting here and relaxing, because we don't worry about small stuff that's going on. But for those people that are in towns and cities where you said you only get 2 to 3 days worth of food, and a lot of them people say they only have a week's worth of food in the refrigerator, if something bad happens, all them people are going to go to where they're going to go to the store. They're going to find out the store is empty. Then they're going to go to the government, and the Red Cross will hand them some bit of food. But sooner or later, all this is going to. And Uncle Sam does not like sharing.
Yeah,
I know that very well.
I could be very wrong, but I could be very right too. I'm of the opinion that if you'll notice, there are these groups of people that are going around to small towns offering to give away food, but they also want you to show them your address, your driver's license, and give you all the information about yourself. And if they were just nice people and they wanted to help you out, they would just give you that food. They wouldn't ask for anything else. So it's my opinion that they want, first of all, want a list, and they also want to teach you that if you run out of food, you go to the government. And believe me, that is the very last place you want to go if you run out of food. And
exactly.
And I've said my piece.
I know better than anybody, and DE was still in here. I think he'd tell you the same thing, and anybody that's ex-military will tell you the same thing. The government is not there to help us.
No.
And they say all the time, if you look in politics and everything else, and there, I don't get into politics very often, but Tommy disagrees with you.
In what way, Tommy? First of all, let me say that I'm not putting everybody that gives food away in that particular thing, but I do believe that there are some people doing that.
And then Let It Snow said, salmon skin used to be my favorite fat until Fukushima. And there's another thing that really freaked me out, is there's a video going on here about the salmon farms and how they're using, because they're so close, they're not growing organically naturally, and they're in these tight confined areas that they're getting sick and they're dying, and the fish are dying and they're creating diseases in the water. So they're spraying them down with this pesticide that they actually have to use full body suits to protect themselves on, and they're selling this fish. And this was in I want to say Finland or somewhere like that. I can't be 100% sure on that, but it was just disgusting to see that. If you are into salmon and your stuff like that, and it's not wild caught and it's coming out of a farm, you might want to think about that.
Yeah, I won't eat salmon unless it's marked wild caught. Tommy, I should have. I didn't mean to lump everybody all in one place there. I mean, really, there are good people out there, but there are also some people that want to trick you too. So you kind of want to know what's going on. That's what I say.
RG says, I'm MH. You don't trust the government? I'm surprised. The joke. Yeah, let us know. There he is. There's my D. He'll tell you.
Yeah,
I was kind of shocked, and I'm going to go and look for that video again so I can tell you where to go look for it. But it was the most disgusting thing ever. Dead salmon are floating in there. The other salmon are in there, and they're trapped in this area. And you can watch them in these pesticides, and they're wearing full body suits because they don't want the crap on them. And then they're selling this meat.
Oh,
it's
no.
like, how can they even be doing this? And these are known salmon farms and stuff like that. And the guy that was videotaping this was talking about it. It's just bad.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. I hadn't seen that. Tony said, RGI became a cynic when I had my own business and the state charged me a business privilege tax. Yeah. Yeah, they tell you it's a privilege to drive, too, you know.
Everything that we do is, if you think you're free and you think that there's nothing, that we live in a free state, and this might be minute, it might be just a small point, but back in the 70s, back in the 80s, it was your choice to put on a seatbelt. It was your parents' choice to put that seatbelt on you. And I remember riding around in my parents' big old station wagon, sitting in the back seat, looking out the back window. And if I wanted a carnival ride, I'd go sit on the main seat back there. When they hit the brakes, you'd go flying.
That's right.
So, you know, but now you have to wear a seatbelt. And I was on a fire, and I was on a fire and ambulance crew. A good friend of mine, his parents were in a car accident. And what destroyed them is because at that time they're in a Lincoln. The airbags hit her face so hard it actually smashed her glasses into her face. She had to have surgically removed a glass out of her face. And the seatbelt on the father's side crushed so many ribs that the police, the investigation, everything else said that they would have been better if they were ejected out of the car than staying in that car.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that seatbelt thing's a bad idea.
I don't think it's a bad idea now either, but the point of it is that it should be our decision if we want to wear a seatbelt or not. It shouldn't be a government mandate that we have to wear a seatbelt.
Yeah, I was talking about for the kids. You know, kids aren't old enough to make that decision. But as far as me, if I want to wear a seatbelt, this should be my decision. I agree.
Yeah, Tommy, I remember, you know, and that's I wear my seatbelt now, and you know, we have a thing here is everybody puts their seatbelt on, and now the vehicles nowadays they'll sit there and drive you nuts until you put the seatbelt on. But you know, these are just some of the things.
You know where I live, I think you could still get away with having a bunch of kids in the back of a pickup truck, to tell you the truth. We're kind of laid back around here.
RG, if you get a chance, look at Dylan's homestead and see how the government is doing to his family. Mikey's a good friend of mine, RJ. What's going on?
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
That's kind of weird because actually I haven't seen Mikey on for a while.
Well, I saw him within the last week. Or maybe it's been about a week. I don't know.
See, I knew that his live stream for him and his wife is at actually the same time. Actually, it's an hour later than what ours is. And he was going to switch his time and his date so that he could be in ours. And I was kind of wondering where he was.
Okay, well, his live stream, I think, has been within the last couple of days. I might look him up here.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
He's there. He's on.
Oh, he is.
Yep. Because ours starts at 7 and his starts at 8.
Well, that's not a good thing. Yeah, I hate that.
But he was gonna switch that.
Oh, well. Didn't realize that was working out that way. Back to that, the people giving away food, though. I will just be perfectly honest. I do not trust FEMA. If I were in need, I certainly wouldn't go there or allow them to take me anywhere. So
it's a good idea. Look at what Dee said. Why don't they have seatbelts on school buses?
You know what? They've been talking about that for 20 years that I know of, and nobody will do it. And the reason for it, as far as I can tell, is because nobody wants to spend the money. You know, I'm trying to think about Dylan. Maybe I was watching an older one or something. I don't know, but I thought I got a notice on it. Although he has two. I think he has two names too. Maybe I was watching another one.
Oh, wrong family. Sorry, guys. RJ. Oh. RG.
He is on now.
Yep.
I know a guy who used to work for FEMA. He don't trust them either. Well, there you go. Yeah, I just can't make myself do that.
There's good reasons. If anybody hasn't watched the FEMA camps or, the coffins or any of that other stuff, you might want to go watch that stuff.
I feel like some of it is getting better, though. I think that there's a whole lot of things going on right now that are going to surprise a whole bunch of people within the next probably 3 weeks. If the information that I've been getting is correct. So.
Please share.
I can't.
Oh.
I mean, it could cause us some problems here, I'm afraid.
That's not good.
But let me put it this way. I think there are going to be some people arrested and taken to jail that are going to surprise a lot of people. People that you wouldn't think. could be touched. Yeah, I've been talking to Trump again, Tommy. No, I've been talking to Q. QAnon will tell you what's going on.
Here, I'm on. Let's see what Mikey has to say here. I just emailed him now.
Tell him he's not supposed to be on opposite us. He's taken away 10 of our viewers. Yeah, I know, Tommy. I don't know. That's yeah. The Eagle says that's what they say. Yeah, I think we been reading the same page. QAnon. Yeah, just look up QAnon. Supposed to be somebody in the White House, but he's putting out some pretty good information, I think. One never knows till the time comes. How many people in Mike's room?
5.
Well, that's 6 more we could have had, counting him.
He's looking at the other, not at his chat.
I love rice too. I really do. Now they say, or at least I've been told, that brown rice is better for you than white rice. I don't know for sure. It's good for you though, I think, at least to some degree. It will keep you alive. Tommy, what did I miss Wednesday? Everybody happy? Everybody have a good day? Was Wednesday a good one? I spent all day in the garden. I don't mean Wednesday, darn it. Monday. If you start soon, you should be ready to plant something by next spring. Yeah, I know. If you live that long. Yeah, I got a cousin who is he's 80 years old, and he called a guy to come out and paint his silos and stuff for storage bins. And the guy got done, and he paid him, and the guy said, "Well, I'll see you in 10 years." My cousin said, "Well, I'm 80, so I hope you're right." It was a good show Monday. Well, I'm glad. I would have rather been in here in the air conditioning than out there in that garden, let me tell you.
Well, that reminds me to tell you too, Merle, on Memorial Weekend, the will be Monday. Oh, I got to get my calendar out here. I will Monday the 28th is Memorial Weekend. So on the 28th, I will be a guest on. Let me see here. I got to get the email out. I forgot the channel I was going to. It's a big channel too. I will be a guest on. Here, I'll find it here.
Somebody you watch a lot.
My Micro Homesteader channel, yeah. Oh, I gotta find that.
Yeah, I'm dying to find out who it is.
Yeah, me too. Forgot. I'll find it.
Probably somebody I watch regular.
Probably they're big. They're a big homesteading channel. Maybe
And you're
let me check
you,
check my other email.
what are you supposed to talk about?
I don't know. They were gonna send me a link. Um, okay, yeah, it was in my other channel. Two Family Homestead.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I don't know if I'm.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm subbed or not with those people, but I do. I do know the name. Two Family
Um,
Homestead. Yep.
I'm looking. Yeah, it was in my Google email and it was in my Yahoo mail. It's a husband and wife, and I watched a couple of their different live streams before. I think 3 weeks ago I was watching one. I took off on a Friday, but they're 2.4K, and every Monday night they do a, like this last Monday they had Stedhome in there. They're a retired couple in north central Idaho who deserves religious backgrounds, aging in place, some homesteading, some prepping, and some doing the best we can to fix up around the and fixed income, gardening, canning, cooking, survival, all the good stuff that we like.
Yeah, sounds good.
So,
I, before we started doing this, I actually had given some thought to trying to get a guest once a month and see how that would work. But I kind of felt like people that already had a successful channel probably wouldn't want to do it. And
you'd be surprised how many channels that I see. Justin Rhodes, Two Family Homestead.
yeah,
There's a lot of people that I know that actually do bring us on. Not only you got to remember too is that it helps other people to get to their channel. They tell their friends they're going to be on doing a, so it helps the community out, or the YouTube community, the homesteading community. So it's not just for them themselves, but there's a lot of people that do that.
but it seems like, at least from what I've seen, and maybe I'm looking in the wrong place, it seems like that it's always one big channel with another big channel. It's, they're not a lot of small
channels.
small channels. But I was going to try to grab some people somewhere in the middle,
Not a
And
bad idea. If I could ever figure out how to get a guest on mine and get that working, that'd be no problem.
yeah, we could actually have a guest. So that's something to think about too. Yeah, we can do that. We will.
Hey, there he is. Locked and loaded. Didn't get the notification.
Uh-oh. That's YouTube is messing with him again.
Yep. Good to see you, Justin.
Yeah, everybody's doing pretty good. Our favorite troll is in here, or he was. That Tom Willis guy.
The thing of it is, too, is once we get things up and rolling on my end, if I can invite you, we can go through Google Hangouts and have as many people as we want on. I've actually been doing chats with vMix on Google Hangouts, and it works really well.
Well, and the thing too is, even just using vMix, you can have one and I can have one. Or well, let's see.
Yep.
No. Well, we could have an extra, I guess. We couldn't have 4, but we could have. Well, you can. You can have 8 right now.
Yep.
So
I gotta just figure out how to do it.
Oh yeah, well we can do that. It'll just take we just need to get the gardens in and get some extra time. Locked and loaded.
Merle, I'm subbed.
Go ahead.
So Mellow Moon says, Merle, I'm subbed to your channel, but your channel doesn't show up on my sub channel.
It should. I don't have anything blocked, so I don't understand that. Maybe
he says, "Hey, bud, I seen you over on Mike's." Oh, locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded. You've been doing a good job keeping us up to speed about what's going on. We appreciate that.
Yeah, Tom, I got the Pro V mix.
Yeah, he's got it for 60 days. My background
Merle, your background looks like a houseboat.
Well, wait a minute. I think I'll see if I can find another room. I think I used to have 3 rooms in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the garden. Oh.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, I better not. Uh-oh. Mark's got lost.
What happened?
I don't know. What'd you do?
I just flipped beans, but I don't know.
You went dark on us.
I see that. But you can still hear me.
Well, yep, we can hear you, but we just don't see you. You're not.
What happened there?
You're not sending anything.
My extendo is sending.
Well, go back to whatever it was you were doing before and see if it works.
I am. There it is.
Yep.
Why is that one not working then? It's weird.
I don't know, but there's another room. Let's see, which room am I in here? Yeah, there's another room in my houseboat.
There you go. Now I'm back up.
Thanks, Locked and Loaded. Boy, it sure is a lot of work, but yeah, I know I'm kind of whining about that work. But I think it's going to be worth it. I really do.
Tomorrow I got to put up my video of my garden. I've been saying that 3 days. I was going to get up in the morning, have my cup of coffee, and do a vlog and walk around and show my garden. And I get sidetracked into some kind of work.
Well, that's what happened to me. I wanted to try to get something up by Wednesday, and there just wasn't no way. We just got to get up and go to work, and like I did say, that I at least grabbed my telephone and got enough that I could put something up. It wasn't much, but that's definitely not one of my better YouTube videos for sure.
Yeah, Older's doing good there, Justin. Brandon and Senators hope he's getting better.
Yeah, that's a big houseboat, all right, RG.
But in my slideshow there, guys, you can see my garden, my efforts for this week.
My wife asked me, I think it was about Wednesday, she said, have you heard from Mark? I said, nope. I suspect he's doing the same thing we are. So.
Yep.
I said, if I don't hear from him by Friday, I'll send him an email.
Yeah, it's I'll tell you, plant season is hard work, but it's well worth it.
Well, these these raised beds, man. I'm telling you, I bet you I've moved 1,000,000 pounds of dirt in one way or another, and it's expensive too. If you really put the good stuff in there, you'll spend a bunch of money too.
Yeah, I'm hoping I got the good stuff to let it ferment.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I saw that Mellow Moon. I saw that cow too in that picture, and I didn't know he had cows.
we had cows last year, and actually the one at Hunter's feeding, they were close buds. So
Oh yeah.
Steak, he asked, "Is this Tank? Is this Tank?"
So after your garden's done in the fall, do you turn your chickens loose in it?
I'm thinking I'm going to. Things that I'm looking at now is it's kind of nice with the pathways and all the chip, and if I let the chickens in there, they're going to scratch everything apart.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, locked it. I've been pretty busy. I thought Mellow Moon buried Mark in the compost pile. Haven't seen how. Every time I try to pick up that camera, and I go to bed at night, I'm like, okay, tomorrow morning I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna check the greenhouse, and I'm gonna make a short video. Walk outside, and if it wasn't moving the meat birds outside, or they had to clean the chicken coop because the ammonia smell was getting bad in there, and one thing after another. It's been a nightmare, but I'm hoping that it gets all settled down here. And then, I go outside, my apple tree's got the flowers on them already. Well, I don't have any of the cow moths in there and stuff like that. So we're turning around and spinning around and doing that. This is growing, and just those things that need to get done.
Yeah, I know. The wife's still got some plants that she's still hardening off, so we got to bring them in, take them outside, and then take them back inside. And after
RG, we plant them in the spring.
Yeah.
Daddy's.
I was wanting some of those seeds myself.
I'll tell you what, I did that's a red Angus, and that's grass fed, grass finished, and it best meat. I mean, he didn't get any grain at all, and that was the best meat that I've ever had. So it takes a little longer to do the grass fed, grass finished, but it's well worth it.
I agree 100%.
And my theory behind it is that if I can rotate a cow every other year and raise beef for myself, and then have it butchered it and kind of flip flop it back and forth. That's my idea. So this year we'll have birds, and pretty quick we'll be having them.
I'll tell you something that has kind of surprised me a little bit, and that is the older I get, the less I seem to require beef. Now, when I was younger, I just couldn't, I couldn't get enough. I just, I had to have a steak ever so often, or hamburgers and what have you. But the older I get, the more I appreciate vegetables. And
yep.
I know that everyone's not that way because I can tell by how much they weigh. but in my case, it's just been a good thing.
Let It Snow says getting all in garden time is an accomplishment. After the weeds, watering, harvest, and process. Well, one of the things that we're trying to this year is I put the walkways with chip, putting compost on the plant, and I put our old hay around in the walkways along the plants, and get rid of the weeding process, and hopefully with the watering, the compost does hold a lot of moisture and keeps the ground moist. So that does help out a lot when it comes to the weed and the watering. So my idea is not getting any younger, and gardening should be fun and not a big, massive amount of work and frustration. It should be enjoyment, and that's where my goal is to get to that enjoyment part of it.
Well, I tell you, even though we're working hard now, I still enjoy it. I mean, I'll be out there and fume and fuss over this or that, but at the end of the day, I feel good for what I've done.
Justin, my wife and I bought some money tree seeds from a yard sale the other day. I think we got ripped off. Posted the video. Funny bad.
Yeah.
Melamoon. Get the cow seeds through the black and white market. Well, that cow's red, so I don't know if you're going to go to the black market to get a red cow, but I'm surprised no one said anything about that big old beard I got growing in that picture. No one said anything about that yet.
I haven't seen it yet.
Look, watch that picture.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wasn't sure that was you. Thought maybe that was your brother or something.
No, that was me in the wintertime.
Oh, no. Tommy, tell me you're kidding. A robot run the garden.
That's something new.
Oh, no. Locked and Loaded's using his phone again. Autocorrect got him. Locked and Loaded, Mark tells me that you've actually got a camera. And he's tried to talk you into using it. Is that right? Let it snow, beards are for men. Yeah, I hope so. I don't think my wife would look very pretty with a beard.
Oh.
Isn't that what you told me, Mark, that Locked and Loaded actually had a camera and you've been trying to talk him into using it?
Yep. He's got a camera. He makes videos all the time.
On the telephone?
Well, it's a camera.
Okay. Oh, no kidding. Tommy, I can see how that could work. It's like a CNC setup with planting, weeding, watering by a movable gantry. Huh.
I would see a problem with that is moisture because unless it's an enclosed environment, because CNC equipment does not like moisture. I'm a CNC machinist.
Have you got a noise gate on or anything, Mark?
I don't think so. Since something changed or what?
Yeah, it's just getting a little bit of stutter sometimes. I don't know why it would start that. Could be the connection, I suppose.
Let me go see. Let me go see.
But it kind of sounds like a noise gate.
Nope, don't have noise gate on my master. Mic.
Cool. Maybe it's just me.
And my mic. Nope, no noise gate there. Anybody else hear me cutting out?
Well, it sounded fine then.
I don't know. I'll just pump up the volume, pump up the volume. All right.
Okay, we forgot to ask people of around the world if they're seeing any chemtrails lately. Have the chemtrails slowed down where you might be living or working and things like that? I've heard that they have slowed down.
Hey Merle, I found out what I did that. I closed my camera off. I hit the F2B. Fade to black on output.
Oh, yeah, that'll cause that.
What did Justin says? It sounds great. All right.
It does. Sounds fine to me too right now. It could have been actually something just in between me and Mark there.
You know, for a while there, me and you were freezing up on my end, and now we're good. So
yeah, it's an internet thing.
Yeah, welcome to the jungle.
So I'm hoping that is a fact, that the chemtrails are actually possibly, maybe, coming to a stop. Fade to black.
We need to.
Fade to black kills the audio too. Tommy said. I forgot. Yeah.
Well, that's probably what happened. And every day, chemtrails about 10 a.m. they kick it up. Now, see, he's not that far from me, and it's been quiet over here for probably months.
Yeah, it's been quiet here for, I know, at least a month. About 10 a.m. they kick it up. Well, keep a close eye on it if you can, and see if it's every day or the same amount every day and all that. Because if my inside source is correct, it's supposed to be stopping down.
Tommy says, please explain chemtrails.
Well, in the airplanes, you used to see a contrail. It's a trail, that comes out of a jet airplane. But lately, they've been spraying what they say is something to shade the earth out of those airplanes. And you'll see them aluminum and barium and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, you'll see them up in the sky. There'll be a half a dozen airplanes. Looks like they're playing tic-tac-toe. So, not a good thing.
Or you'll see, when you see a jet go by and you see that vapor trail and the jet's gone and it's just sitting there, that's another idea. There's days when it's really hazy out all of a sudden you'll see these streaks going through the sky and they'll stay there. They won't move. And that should just, if it's a regular exhaust fumes coming out of the jet engine, it should dissipate and go away, but these will stay there for 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it's not a conspiracy theory either. They don't even try to lie out of it anymore.
So, Justin, if you look behind my picture now, that's what I've been doing all week. That used to be barren ground. It used to be just flat. There's nothing. There's nothing there. Now it looks like a garden.
I wish mine looked that good. I need some wood chips for sure.
It does. I'm hoping, knock on wood here. I'm hoping that this saves our back from weeding and watering, and because some of my sources are saying this year it's supposed to be a hot and dry summer, and It started pretty rough spring. I mean, we didn't have a spring. We went from winter to summer.
We did. We did here too.
So I'm hoping that Tommy says he's made his own chemtrails on the way to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Them are natural, Tom. but
but just as dangerous.
I think we've all done that. Thanks, let us know. Yeah, I gotta. Dawn's been kicking her. She gets up at 5:30, 6 in the morning, and does a Bible study and gets some breakfast, and we're out there by 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I leave for work at 1:30, and they're still out there. I'll call home at break at 5, and they're still out in the garden working around. So everybody's been pushing really hard this last week to get everything in.
Well, it definitely looks good.
I don't know. She must be upstairs.
Very good. See, that's the thing that bothers me. Excuse me. The amount of work that we've put in, it still doesn't look as nice as I think it should. But we'll get there.
Yeah, I got some software this winter. I got it in one of my videos. It was a garden planner, and in there it's a AutoCAD design, so you can design your garden, you can design your trails, where the greenhouse, everything's to be. So if you know your garden, this thing will tell you how many plants you can put in a certain area. It does for you, so you can tell them, okay, I want to make 4x12 area for my peppers. It'll tell you exactly how many plants can go in that little 4x12 area. And it was really nice thing to have. It got changed up a little bit just because the compost wasn't ready, and this front half that's right behind me was just solid weeds. So I actually laid cardboard down, threw some dirt over the top of it, and I had to wait 2 weeks before we get rid of the weeds. But it's come out pretty good. I can load Agenda 21, just like the full-scale X-ray machines in the airport. Yep, population control.
I'm with you, L&L. Yeah.
Well, if anybody needs, all you have to do is, like I said before, is look up Georgia Guidestones, and you'll see it in their own handwriting.
Yeah, and they won't reveal who paid for those stones either.
It's kind of funny how they just popped up one night. That's kind of funny because them are pretty big stones just to pop up in one night.
Yeah, a story I read said that somebody actually ordered those built, but wanted to remain anonymous. So, I got maybe about 3 or 4 people on my list of people that I think would do that.
Yeah, let us know. That was my idea too. Is to have everywhere in Homestead is you have your little niches here and there, but in a roundabout way, everything on a homestead should be beneficial to you and your family and your friends and everything else. And that's one of the things you're going to see. I planted nasturtiums and we got some other seeds here that are good for tea, but all our flowers are edible. We planted marigolds to help protect it for the deer and the pests and stuff like that. They're not only good for tomatoes there, Merle, but they're also good to stop rodents and pests from entering your garden.
I think my wife. Yeah, I think my wife said that, but
it's nasturtium also, and them are edible. You can eat them.
Oh, really? No, I didn't know that.
Yep. I will have a video out when they get bigger. And actually, I got the gigantic climbing one, so these are supposed to get like 8 feet tall. So, and then on the other side here, on the right side of me, you'll see that one sunflower that's starting to grow. That's that we grew in-house here in the Back to Eden method. and you can see that sunflower already has the sunflower on top and everything else. It's probably 3 to 4 feet tall, and that was grown in one of them 10 by 18 plant trays. So it was only 2 inches deep, 18 inches long, and it got that big.
When I was a kid, about 5 or 6 years old, my mother and father, I don't ask me why they did it because I have no idea. They planted almost a half acre in zinnias. It was absolutely beautiful, without a doubt, and there's still pictures all over the place of it. But I can't imagine anybody doing such a thing.
Thomas says, "Can't we just put up a rodent-free zone?" I tried that last year, and I'll tell you what, the field mice came and devoured my cucumbers. I didn't get but maybe 3. They were eating the tomatoes. They were just destroying everything, and that's why behind me here, everything that can go up, and I will be planting. I got probably 72 marigolds that we started. They're going to go all along the outer part of the fence there, just to stop them little guys from coming in there, because they will just destroy a garden. But one of the other things that I heard is to keep the weeds down and keep along the fence, the grass from growing between the fences. If you keep that clean,
Yeah.
it actually deters the mice because they can't hide in there.
Some of you guys know Old Camp Ranch. One night he was attacked by some kind of rats, and they took out 80% of his garden. It's just like nothing I ever seen before.
Well, I was reading, in England they have a National Air Rifle Association, and one of the big things that they do down there is they snipe out rats at night in chicken coops, barns, pig farms, all this other thing. And what the guy said on there is a rat can take 10 pounds of food a night.
I saw that.
They eat it, they store it, everything else.
Yeah, I saw that. Man, they really shoot a bunch of rats over there.
Yeah. Tommy says, he says, no, I didn't know. I know that, Merle, marigolds like tomato and vice versa. It's called it's companion planting, and it helps to deter animals from your tomatoes. Another thing that tomatoes like to be around is basil. Basil's another one. Let us know. Anyone ever watch plants being pulled into the earth by rodents?
I've never seen.
Drives me bad. Gophers and woodchucks do that. They will destroy a carrot crop in a heart. They will burrow underneath the carrot in the root plant, and then they'll pull it into and store it for later on. That was just like a theory the other day. I live out in the middle of nowhere. Where did rats come from? All of a sudden, one day, I got a rat chicken coop. Like, where did they come from? I don't have anything where I can bring them in here. There's no way. I don't have produce. I don't have any of that kind of. So where did these rats come from?
It would seem they travel a long way.
Exactly. They'd have, town is 15 miles away. So where did these rats come from?
Can you imagine how skinny they get between town and your house? how hungry they must be.
Oh, you should see when I put up the anti-rat feeders and the waters. Yeah, they're out in full force and they're looking for food. But I'll tell you what, it's a blast when they're out running around and trying to shoot them. I seen Bugs Bunny do it. Yep.
Yeah, and Yosemite Sam too.
He's looking for gold. But yeah, there's a lot of with the rodents and stuff. I don't know where they come from, but they come out of the woodwork or where. But man, problem is once you get them, another guy said if you see one or you see two, there's 20 to 30 more where that came from, and rats breed like rats, so
We almost
you can have a
we almost always get mice, when it starts to get cold in the wintertime. But I can't tell you the last time I saw a rat. I don't know where they all went, but they can stay there as far as I'm concerned.
well, one of the biggest mistakes that I made was I put a bit of my compost in the back of the chip last year, not thinking. Obviously, it was on the north side of the building, and they decided to put their nest in there, and then they were coming through the walls and up into the ceiling and everything else. So now we cleaned that all out, so they got nowhere to hide. So I'm hoping that they move on, but I'm going to pull apart my chicken coop because I think I put regular insulation in the walls, and I think they made their nests in there. So I'm pulling that all apart, clean it all up, and then I'm going to put some heavy gauge seal netting down along the sides and bury it.
You know what I have more trouble with here is raccoons. And the fact of the matter is, I got a raccoon out in one of my sheds right now with little babies.
You said that last weekend, yeah.
I know what I should do. Yeah, I know. But I'm hoping that they'll grow up and move away.
Well, they stay where the food is, and where you think about it, the shed is a nice, safe place. It's not like being outside, outdoors. So to raise the kits, that's a perfect spot for them.
Yeah, and Mom already knows I'm not going to bother her, so I'm in trouble.
Right. Walter says rats love chicken coops. Yeah. Just seen the other day, yesterday, one of the mice decided to run out and out of the coop. That thing was flying in the air in like 30 seconds. All the chickens attacked it.
Yeah.
So, hey, buddy.
Did you go outside?
Yeah, we all knew you were there. We could see you on camera.
Look at that. He just appeared from nowhere. He's magic.
Yep. Right behind. I'll come out of the curtain.
That's pretty cool.
No, he disappeared. Oh. So rats are just a nuisance and a bother. So, but it makes for a fun night. Sandy says, I've flown once, and it was at home, no heights, weak stomach. Yeah, I don't like flying either, and I am not going through the check areas and getting checked over and molested and everything else to get on an airplane. So my days of flying are over.
Me too.
Tom used to be a trapper until I caught a beautiful red fox.
And you married her, right?
And then let us know. I'm going to tell a true story. The house I bought was not lived in for 2 years, and when I first stepped in it, I could hear something swirling of a mice in the attic walls.
That sounds about right.
So, all the chicks good? Cold. Mel Moon. Everything good out there?
Are they
They
all
just got moved out.
Are they all okay?
Moved outside. Tommy says, nope, killed it.
Oh, no. So you weren't kidding, were you? Brought all your traps out and never went back. Yeah, I know how you feel. We get weak when we get old, don't we? Sometimes. For animals, at least. We have less patience with humans and more patience with animals.
That's kind of funny. Let us know is You can get the sonic things now. Actually, I bought a couple for moles, and you can stick them in the ground to stop that, and the sound from the low pitch or whatever it is actually deters them. And now they make them for rodents in your house too, that they make a noise to repel pests.
Well, I've got one in the house, but it's never done me a bit of good that I can tell.
Yeah, we got a retarded cat that don't do any good either.
I got one of them too. I'm just kidding. I didn't mean it.
All right, the trauma chickie is doing good too. That's good. Yeah, we got a Mellow Moon was a sucker, and all of a sudden came home one day with this cat, and it's got 5 claws on each side. It's just a morphodite. Walks crooked, but it became part of the family.
No, Tommy, I think biddies is just something we call all little babies, little baby animals around here. Little biddies. Could be a southern thing. I don't know.
You got to try that because we have mint growing in the garden.
Yeah, we'll have to give that a shot. Sounds like a deal. Boy, it'd be nice if that works. Peppermint oil. We'll try it for sure. Oh, no. Sandy K says, I had a hen sitting on 20 eggs. They were rotten.
Oh.
Surely not. Good. I didn't think a chicken would do that.
They don't know that they're fertile until later on. So I was watching a video on a lady actually came in the dark when the chicken can't see you, and then she took the thing to make sure the eggs were fertile and stuck it back underneath the chicken, and she pulled out the unfertile eggs.
Linda Davis says, we have 2 Jack Russells that can't catch a cold, let alone a rat.
Yeah, I'm going to try that peppermint oil.
Tommy, I have used the mothballs for raccoons with some, I would call, limited success. Trying to keep them out of the house anyway, or from under the house and stuff like that. Locked and Low says, put a couple of drops in places around the house and under your sink. And yeah, I would say put a couple of drops any place you might otherwise put a mousetrap. Mark, I'm just flat jealous of that garden back there. That just looks way too good.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it does. It looks awful good. That is I thought that was a picture you got out of Home and Garden there or something.
Nope, that's my garden.
That's
I'll put this.
That's the real deal.
Yeah, I'll put the intro back up, and then there's more than just that front half. I'll move stuff around and try to. So yeah, that's my coop, and that's me with a beard.
And Who's that old guy again?
Yeah. That's why I shave it short. So yeah, we're well,
Yeah.
they really throw the pictures on there quick.
Let us know. Says
That
wish.
that egg in my
She says I wish
that egg in my
mice
hand.
were edible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they are. Deep fry them, real crunchy.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it was a Vietnamese or Hmong. They eat mice and rats. But yeah, so that picture went pretty quick. I'll do a walkthrough tomorrow, and it's supposed to be nice out in the morning, not windy, so I don't have to wear mics and everything else. But we actually extended in the pasture where Hunter was feeding Tank there. We put in 37 tomato plants on and actually ropes so they can go up because somebody didn't want to throw away all the tomato plants. I grew too many tomato plants, so I figured, well, I might as well use them, put them away.
Linda Davis says mix peppermint oil with eucalyptus oil, and it will kill fleas too, as well as keep the mice out. Sounds good. What'd you have for supper, Tommy? Cornbread and beans and fresh okra. Boy, that sounds good. I could stand some fried okra right now.
Man, that is one thing I cannot eat.
Oh, fried okra? Crispy?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I love it to death.
Mellow Moon likes okra too, and every time I try it, there's just like I love spinach, raw spinach, but I will not eat cooked. I won't eat that slimy cooked stuff.
Huh. I think the greens I like the best, I believe, is kale. We eat something green almost every day.
Yeah, I did, Justin. I did. It got cold quick. The winds picked up too.
Did you guys have rain yesterday?
We had early this morning. Yesterday was just beautiful. Well, besides it being scorching hot, it was really nice out.
We had about two at least nice gentle showers for I don't know, half an hour maybe. Just about right. If you could order rain, it was the kind of rain that you'd want for your garden.
Yeah, let us know. My tomato plants are probably roughly, I want to say almost 2 months old before they go outside. I start them in the grow tables early just for that reason, because we don't have our growing season here is roughly about 124 days. So I'm hoping with my garden is set up now in the planting season that it'll work out good. We'll find out.
I'm in, I guess, what you would call central Indiana, and we get, oh gosh, we get plenty of ripe tomatoes. Yeah, all you can
See, the
want.
thing that with the tomatoes, that what I learned is the suckers. If that's like devil's advocate with the suckers, because if you pull too many off, then your tomato is going to be more of a sour tomato. It won't be a sweet tomato. But if you keep too many on there, it wants to keep on growing, because each sucker is a new tomato plant. So the putting all its power into that new plant instead of putting it into the fruit. So if you can kind of play the game of taking the suckers off and letting that open up and air out, your tomatoes will get a lot riper a lot quicker because the sun gets to them, and the plant is putting the energy in the fruit instead of putting it into the plant and growing. I'll let them go 7 feet tall, and then I'll cut the top off so that they don't grow anymore. I concentrate on putting on. But there's an actual a bunch of videos to tomatoes and doing it wrong for years and just letting them do their thing. Another thing that you can do is a tomato plant roughly will only produce about 20% of what it's supposed to produce just because of natural fertilization. If you go and shake the flour and help to fertilize it, you take it all the way up to 75 to 80%. So there's a huge part of that just by us going and knocking on the flour and helping the process along instead of letting nature take the course, you'll have a lot more tomatoes.
Yeah, what I usually do is just leave enough for shade.
Linda Davis. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I forgot to tell her hello. I just been talking to her like she was one of the guys.
Yeah, Justin, that's why I got that big fire behind me is to keep me warm. Being cold.
Well, you got some nice pictures. And boy, they look good up there on that 42-inch screen. Yeah, they
That's
do.
cheating.
Well, I had to do that. I had this TV that I wasn't watching anyway, so I guess you call that a confidence monitor. I put it directly behind the camera, and that way when I look at that screen, I am almost looking directly at the camera.
Once I get my yeah, don't get burned. Yeah, it's far enough behind me. When I build my new computer, I want to have enough ports in there so that I can run my TV and hook up my HDMI cable because I got a 6-inch me that we don't even use. Once we got rid of the TVs and the TVs, you know, watching that kind of stuff, you got extras now.
Yeah, I actually had to. I needed one anyway, but I bought a video card so I would have enough plug-ins.
Talk to you later, Justin.
For three monitors. I can actually use 4, I guess. But I'm not sorry to have that. That thing sitting back there has done me as much good as I paid for the TV. I think it was one of those old Chinese TVs from Walmart for under $200. Does a good job.
The only thing, Tom, that I do with a 3D printer is at work when we're making tooling, we use a 3D printer for that, but that's it.
Tommy, last I heard your printer was broke. Did you get it fixed?
But it still says, nope, Mellow Moon. Not sure about Wisconsin. But I feel sorry for anyone moving to Washington State. Yeah, it's beautiful, etc. But one will pay for it in taxes and freedom and liberty.
Yeah, I believe
that. I'd want to go there.
I would not want to go there. There are too many.
Let's see.
There are too many people there, I'm sure, that don't believe the way I believe. So that's a good reason for me not to go. Got another one. Good deal. Did you get one like Alan's got? Oh, wait a minute. He's got 3 of them. I forgot.
Yeah, it got cold quick. Oof.
So you got a cold front moving across?
I don't know. I'm gonna look right now. Something's moving in. I'll tell you that.
I haven't really paid much. I can't afford what Alan has. Yeah, well, Alan has a lot. Yeah. He's a pretty smart guy, though. He paid $4,000 for the last one. Woo. He loves his toys.
Supposed to get down to 37 tonight.
Are you kidding me?
Nope, it says Sunday mostly sunny with high of 67. Sunday night it's 39. Monday is 67, and I don't even trust that because they can't tell one day from the next. Because if you haven't noticed, the other day it was supposed to rain all day today, and it was nice out, and
Yeah.
the weathermen are terrible.
Yeah, I know. They are. You try to plan something 5 days ahead, and you can't do it because it'll be completely different in 5 days from what they said.
I tried to, look on 4 or 5 different weather stations, try to plan this garden out so that I can get it in and get things going, and trying to, because technically we're not supposed to have anything in before Memorial Weekend, so we kind of got to jump on everything, but and playing and hoping for no more frost. Yeah, Sandy, the news ain't real anyway. They watch on regular mainstream TV. I've come to the conclusion that if you find out the true news, you just got to find a good YouTube channel and you'll find it there.
That is a fact.
That's the other thing that I heard that, and I don't know if it's true or not, but that's one of the reasons why Uncle Sam wants to shut down YouTube, because of what can come off of YouTube and the videos that are on there. But the fact of the matter is, it's a huge income, and even though it's a hindrance to the government, it's also money in their pocket. So
yeah, well, all they got to do is call it fake news. Do you see what Tommy's low temperature is tonight?
67, yeah.
I think it's supposed to be around 50 here.
Well, they can have it. I'm living out in Arizona. It was just 112 during the day, and it only hit, 80 at night. That just,
yeah.
Not for this guy.
I used to go to Las Vegas every once in a while, and the last time I was there, it was 110. But you know what? If it was 110 here, you would die. But with the low humidity over there, it was hot, but it wasn't really all that bad. Boy, did it ever get humid here, though, today. Wow.
It was humid here, too. Miserable.
Mellow Moon, I remember Let It Snow. I remember in high school we had kill your television stickers. Now we need kill the surveillance social media stickers. 1 month to go until I'm off. Well, can't blame you for that.
Where are you off to?
Off the TV, I think she meant. I got a cable box that I'm paying $10 for in a bedroom that I never use anymore. I probably ought to call them, tell them come pick that up.
Yep, $10 is $10.
By the way, we need to when we get these gardens in, we need to play around with Zoom a little bit, because we can use Zoom after you're not able to use the 8 people anymore, like you are now.
Yep.
We can use Zoom to put as many people on as we want. It's $15 a month, and I'll spring for that.
Remember, guys, please give us a thumbs up.
Gosh, forgot all about it. Yeah, and if you see someone that you're not used to seeing, go to their channel and give them a little help if you can.
Yeah, we gotta figure a word out, a catchword for instead of subbing the channel. We gotta figure out a different word.
Well, we can help your channel.
Or we can grow your channel.
Yeah, that works. There's a couple.
Yeah, South Carolina. That's a good place to find out about humidity.
Oh boy, is it ever!
Georgia's another. Actually, a really bad one is Kentucky. When I was stationed at Knox, let me tell you, I don't know how many times that base got black flagged because of humidity.
I'm trying to make sure I'm subscribed to everybody here. That's why I'm quiet.
Well, just make sure everybody subscribes to Merle, because that's how you're going to find out about our live streams. Tell your friends. Tell your family members. Tell your dog. Whoever's watching.
Yeah. And even if you don't have any subscribers or anything, if you just have a channel all by itself, you can still subscribe. I think I'm subscribed to everybody so far that's in the room. I hope. If I'm not, if anybody knows that I'm not, let me know. And there I used that word again. Sorry.
Yep. Growing the channel.
Yep. Yeah, but Mellow Moon, usually, if the humidity's high, the temperature goes right up with it. Or at least
today we had it started at like at 60, 62 here, but the humidity was terrible. It felt like it was 70 already.
What actually happens when you get a thumbs up? You know, I don't know. Actually, if it would help Mark if he got one, probably. Me, probably not. I don't know. In the end, eventually, it would probably help.
What it does is it shows you in your analytics. It shows that you're doing something in a positive way, and on my end, it helps you promote your video. When you have material, YouTube recognizes you as a creator. The more thumbs up you get, the more active you are, the more publicity YouTube gives you. And actually, thumbs down is a credit too. So when people give you, if you're making a video and you get a thumbs down, it's not a totally a bad thing, because you actually get credit for that too. Believe it or not.
Yeah, if you got 50 thumbs up and you get 1 thumbs down, it's going to help.
Yeah.
I think you're right, Tommy. Yeah, I tell you, sometimes it'll be the temperature in this state will be we'll say it'll be 80, and if the humidity is way up there, like 80%, man, I tell you, it you can't hardly breathe. That's
It's thick.
it's like walking into a wall.
Well, by time my channel or YouTube allows me to go live again, your channel will be as big as mine.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I'm happy. I don't, quite honestly, I don't expect to ever be a big channel. Having a good time, and that's what it's all about. I see I see some people that all they want to do is just get to 1,000, get to 1,000. Well, I'd like to have 1,000, but if I don't, I'm sure not going to be upset about it.
I thought the same way. I thought, I'd just, do a channel, and I was happy when I hit 100, and I was happy when I hit, 500. When I gave my first giveaway, was at 500. I never thought in a million years that I'd be pushing over 1,700 and growing every day. So once you have good content and you have a good fan base and good followers, it does grow, because every person that watches your video and likes it or puts in their like, and somebody on their channel watches it, they're going to go and check it out. So you can grow quick.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. All it does is take one. Look at my chicken video. When I built my chicken coop, I've got over 31,000 views on that one video, and that was made in last November.
Yeah, that helps. Dave Edwards, you rascal. I am so happy to see you in here. And I wasn't subscribed to you either, but I am now. I don't know why I wasn't. That's strange. Some of the people that I know the best, I wasn't subscribed to. Yeah. Tommy Willis.
I'm subscribed to Dave Edwards now.
Tommy Willis and Dave Edwards. I can't believe it. It's just, you guys have made my day. Yes. What have you been up? I
got 2 subscribers.
What have you been up to, Dave? Uncle Dave. Oh, this is cool. We've been here, believe it or not, since 7 o'clock Central.
Yep.
And
let it snow. Okay, it's getting dark. Short time. Thank you, you two, for doing this. Love learning. We're the kind of people. Night chatter. Night Mel Moon. Lovely talking with you. You take care. Let it snow. Glad you stopped by. We'll be back next week.
Yeah, Lord willing, we'll be here for sure. And
yep.
And thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Yeah, Dave, this is our 3rd week. And we've actually done fairly well. Of course, we talked about religion last week, so that was a little, we had a few extra people. Dave's been working. But we'll talk about almost anything except work. I just can't talk about work. Now, gardening's a different story.
Well, it's after this week that I had with the garden, I'm starting to think that's work.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is definitely work here, for sure. Let's see. I'm trying to think what time it is in the desert, California desert. About 3 hours difference, I think. So it's 11, 12, 1. Is it 1 or 2?
Thanks for stopping by, Sandy.
2. Thanks, Sandy. Everybody. What's Mark been eating? Looks like blazing saddles behind him. Yeah. he was having a cookout. We by the way, Dave, we I think we have a VMix convert here with Mark. I talked him into going to get the 60-day plan. So
once I figure out this audio, I make some pretty good little tabs and stuff like that. I got everything else under control. It's just this audio I got to figure out.
Well, Dave or Tommy, either one could probably help you with that. But I'm, like I told you, I'm the audio. I'm definitely not an audio person. But what would keep him? He's trying to play a video out, but he can't get it to go out. And I used to know what was wrong with that, but I don't know. We'll get it figured out. I'll get Tom and Dave and Tom together here, and we'll get you squared away.
Yeah, Tom. I found out. That's the funny thing about the software is you find out how to use it when you hit the wrong button.
Yeah, he hit the fade to black button a while ago, and he lost his audio.
Lost everything. It's like, what the heck did I just do? But you making the tabs and stuff easy to get around in that way. I'm sure there's a lot of things that I haven't figured out yet, but I want to try to see what it's like to video on here and see if it compares to my Cyber Direct.
To video, well, do you see what?
Actually, and put the video on bus A. Okay, it's activated already.
That's what I told him too, and for some reason it didn't seem to work. Activate bus A and put the video on bus A. Yeah.
Okay, let me try it again. We'll see if it comes up, because there should be sound with this.
With the video.
With the video. So, do you hear sound?
No. You mean with the one behind you? Oh, he hit fade to black again.
No, I didn't. I just hit the sound.
All right. Okay.
That's the. Let me
Bye, Sandy. Bye, Sandy. We'll see you next week, hopefully.
See you later, Sandy. So here's my slideshow, and when I open up my slideshow, audio is on. So now if I restart this, you guys should see the video. There's no sound. So I don't know why. But what's
okay
right now should have.
All right. On your audio mixer, your audio, your video. Click the A button.
It is.
And it's lit up?
Yep.
Okay, guys, tell me what to tell him.
So on the slideshow now, the audio light is in green.
No, Mark is on VMix.
So this slideshow that you're watching right now should have audio.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I don't know. Could be 1,000,001 reasons why. But what you've got your sound device is just your internal Windows device, right?
Yeah. So now I got, if I go to my settings and my output, master is enabled, A is enabled, D is enabled, and default bus for net new inputs is master. Is how I got the settings.
I only got about half that.
Okay, so if I go into setting and my audio output, my master output is set to enabled. My
Yep.
headphones are set to headphones. My A is set to enabled. My B is set to enabled. And default bus new inputs is master.
Right. That's what I thought it should have been.
And yes, Dave, I can see the it's moving a video right now.
But is not green, is it? It's blue.
No, for this video it's green.
Okay, so you've got audio, you just can't get it out.
Yep. So I have audio.
So on the right, on your A and B, do you have 1 and 2 marked on the right side there?
My A and B. It just says A and B. It does, or just A. It says M and A for my slideshow in the audio mixer.
No,
It says
on your audio outputs.
Oh, let me go back. Yeah, I think you're right. It is 1 and 2.
Okay.
For my audio output, it says for A is 1 and 2. Check. Oh, that's the problem. That my audio right now for this device is actually number 9 and 10. If I go down to 9 and 10, it probably won't switch. I started. So if I audio to, or my slideshow, move it over to in the physicians, it should probably pick it up, right?
I don't know. That doesn't sound right exactly to me, but
Let me try it. It won't do it because I'm live right now. It won't let me move them down there. It did.
so what you're saying is when you go to audio outputs, your line A, you're thinking it should be 10?
Well, see if how this, according to what is your devices. If you open up your settings, and there it says your audio outputs, your 1 and 2 is your first section. Thinking that's a problem.
Good night, Linda.
So
Come back and
your
see
first
us.
2 slots is for your audio. You said select 1 and 2. I got it selected, and it should be.
Something's causing you to break up. I don't know if it's just between you and me, but or not. But I think Dave said you were breaking up on him too, and he's in California.
I think it's because I'm screwing with it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It says it orders Mac art.
Dave says select 1 and 2, and it'll force a restart on the A bus. Am I right, Dave? Yeah. You're right, Walter. Sometimes that works.
Okay, let's see what happens.
Always select 1 and 2.
Yeah, I did that. It didn't.
Okay.
It's playing audio. I can see it moving on the audio mixer, but it just is not. Not kicking out.
And you've got A selected in the mixer.
Yep.
And it's green. And
Yep.
and the bar is moved up.
What I'll do is I will put in here. We're going to go to desktop capture, local desktop.
I can't figure out I can't figure out what you're doing that could cause it to break up on you like that.
I don't know, but now I'll be up here so you guys can see it. They're looking at it.
Yeah, now you're talking. Let me see if I can give them a better picture.
Tom says it's probably from me screwing around with the audio.
Yeah. Okay.
So right here is a river crossing is a song that should be playing, but there's no bars.
Is that song in the video?
Yep.
Okay, they both should be on the same one. They shouldn't be separated. The song and the video should be on. Yeah. Wait a minute. I know what I'm trying to say, but I can't get it said. Okay, the one on the left there, what is that?
Hold on a second. RJ, I'm only came back to let you know I'm not going to be on anymore. I have to take care of some business, and it's been fun, and all good luck. Well, you take care, my friend.
Thank you, RG.
Hope to see you soon.
Thank you, RG.
See, virtual audio cable is needed. I have virtual audio cable.
You shouldn't. I can't see where you should need a virtual audio cable. I don't think.
Okay, so I just.
It could be. Yeah, you're right, Tommy. It could be. Good night, Walter. Thanks for coming.
You know, I think I unloaded or removed virtual audio cable when I was having all those problems with OBS.
Well, it's going to want. It's going to talk to you like OBS did, or like that camera did. But
let me try to put up another video that has sound in it already.
Yeah, that's what you want. You can't, or at least I've never tried to play sound separate.
Let me see something here. Let me
well, yeah,
grab it.
Yeah, I have to. I have.
All right, so here's an actual video. This one and works. So this video has in it. Should be playing and bars are moving up and down.
You're breaking up, or you was. But we're not getting any audio, no.
Yeah, see, there's something isn't correct, because now my slideshow inputs, something's goofy. I just need some time to figure it out.
I think so. Really, I don't think there's anything seriously wrong there. But It's yeah. I don't think he should need a cable unless he had a mixer or something. I wouldn't have thought.
Dave says the video is poor, so I can't read anything on the screen.
Yeah, and I don't really quite understand that either, unless because he's got plenty of bandwidth and so do I, and I'm pumping it out at 1080. Anyway, that picture looks okay.
You're back.
We'll do it.
Yeah, I just got to figure some more things out on here. Like I said, I haven't played with it enough. I mean, as far as the software and user friendly, I'm pretty good with it. I guess I got it up and running in the night. So
if you'd like to get maybe with Dave or and or Tommy sometime on Zoom, we probably have you going in about 5 minutes.
Either that, or I could probably call once my call VMAX and tell them, hey, what's going on, and if they know it too.
Well, you could do that. you're probably going to talk to Tom Sinclair who's basically Tommy's neighbor. Yeah, I can't figure out why the audio's getting garbled like that.
Right back.
Well, it looks like we've turned another channel into a vMix channel to me. So as I read this, it's Tom Willis, Dave Edwards, Tom Willis. That's kind of cool. I might have to go to bed on you guys here shortly. Dave, did you say you'd been working?
See, eventually what I want to do on here is be able to do a quick video and tape it and send it to YouTube for our live streams, because I have all the stuff built on here now. So that's my goal.
Well, what we need to do is we need to start maybe a little earlier and get you on Zoom. And
yeah.
Well, actually, if you want to, we can close the channel because it's past our 3 hours anyway.
Yep.
And I'm not sure that anybody's left except us.
We got
kids.
5 in the room.
There's Tommy and Dave and me and you. Is anybody else in there?
There's 5 of them in there.
Besides me and you?
I don't know if it counts us as being in there or not.
I think it does, but I'm not sure. Yes, working.
Okay.
Editing videos and assisting clients. Yeah, he's been working with other events. We can use the Zoom room. Yeah, we can do that. Except I don't know how to. I don't think I know how to use it. Dave, can you set it up?
Here, I'll put in my email so he's got that.
I think Dave can set it up. I'm not sure that I am smart enough. at this time of night. Yeah, he goes to work at 2 o'clock. He goes to work at 3 o'clock. He goes to work exactly the same time our show starts on Monday.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd have had him in there.
Yeah, I work 2 to 10, so. It's got to be something simple. And
Oh, I'm sure it is. I just can't get it to come to mind.
the other thing that really makes kind of weird is that vMix wants to go through Edge all the time. It doesn't like going through Google.
Well, now it won't want to go through. What do you mean? What do you mean by Google?
Through Chrome and stuff. That's how I'm running through right now.
Okay.
All my YouTube is through Chrome. And
Actually,
when I'm right now,
you should have connected to me through vMix instead of the way we used to connect. You remember before you got vMix, you would connect with a browser. Now you didn't do that this time, did you?
Yep.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Okay, I'm gonna give you a website, and you should be able to go there. Hang on a second. As soon as I get there. Go to this website and hit the big blue button and go into Zoom. I don't know what I was talking about setting it up. There's nothing to setting it up. I'll go in there too.
And see which
we can let this
see it. I have no yet.
Do what?
They don't have an email yet.
You don't need an email. Just click the big blue button on this website.
Where's the big?
On this website that I just put in chat.
Oh, okay. I was looking at it. All right. Okay. Hit the big blue button
On this website. On this website that I just put in chat.
Oh, okay. I was looking at it. All right. Sounds like I'm on us.
Now, what we're going to have to do is close the YouTube because we can't.
Hit the big blue button.
On this website that I just.
Yeah, we're getting too much feedback here.
No, what we need to do is close out of.
All right.
What we need to do is close out of
Now,
what we're going to have to do is close the YouTube because we can't.
All right, I'm going to shut this one down.
Okay, after you...
I gotta select the camera. It's not picking up the camera. I might have to start
No,
restart this up.
just go ahead and click that little arrow there beside the camera and pick your camera. If you've if you've closed out of all of your YouTubes and all that, it should work just fine. And you want to be sure that you've got your external turned on.